The Intrepid radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent talk.
Well, happy Friday night, everybody. Wednesday night. Welcome to the program. This is Scotty Roberts. Yes, I am live. I just slipped up on the day. And welcome to the Intrepid radio program right here on my YouTube channel. You can find us also over on Facebook, and you can find us on Twitter, X. You can find us on Instagram as something new I tried. You can give it a shot. We'll see if it's working tonight or not. If not, we'll fix it up. And you can go over to Patreon and find my page there. So I want to thank you all for being here tonight. I've got a special treat. As you can see by the graphic, we've got a special treat tonight. And ROCCI STUCCI, most of you, I think, know ROCCI pretty well. And ROCCI is somebody I've known for, I don't even know, maybe 10 years now, maybe. Something like that. And our friendship started, we'll talk about this when he comes on, but a ways back, and he wasn't doing radio, and we all started doing radio, and ROCCI turned into this beast of a radio master, and he can give you a little bit of his history. And I had the privilege of doing several shows with ROCCI, either his show or a show we did together, a show we did with John Ward, all of that kind of stuff. We've done radio together for the better part of a decade now. And I have missed doing radio with him since he's moved out of town. And trying to pin him down on being able to do a show with me has been a little rugged, just trying to get there. And so, I'm not going to have the proscenium arch on tonight so we can see everybody. And so without further yapping about it, let me get ROCCI in here, and let's get this ball going. ROCCI STUCCI,
yo,
welcome to the program.
What's going on over there? What's up, bro? Hey,
how you doing?
It's really funny because we're literally just talking about this. I think about all these years, and the different people that you do radio with, different guests, the different people you have on. Dude, I'm a unique freaking character, when I come on the radio, I say some funny shit, and it's just kind of offensive sometimes, but nobody, honest to God, brother, we were just having this conversation. Nobody can play off the meatball like the freaking cannoli. You know what I mean? Like the freaking cannolis. I'm just,
I gotta tell you, there is a thing that we did that first of all, it started with, I don't know who came up with it first. We were talking about ADHD radio. And the idea was, let's do shows that people enjoy listening to. But this ADHD thing was, we're going to start on this topic, but we may not get anywhere near the end of that topic.
You can't
we may have this topic comes in over here and this one from over here. And I could be talking very seriously, folks. I could be talking about ripping my heart out about some issue. And ROCCI will go, yeah. Cannoli. He says, I only got one question.
Mm-hmm.
If you had sex with a ghost, would that be like adultery? And I'm like,
speaking of, bro, listen. Oh, my God. Okay, have you been watching the new Ghost Adventures House Calls?
Yes, I have.
Okay, gotta tell you, kind of like it, bro.
I kind of like it.
I kind of like it. Did you see the one where... Wait, was it House Calls or was it? No, it wasn't House Calls. It was it's the new season where the ghost had sex with Aaron.
Yes. I saw that.
It's real. It's freaking real.
And the thing was, Aaron's just laying there. He's not feeling anything, but on the SLS camera, something was going to town on Aaron.
His wife still had questions when he got home. I don't give a shit, bro. She will still be like, did you feel something? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I felt nothing.
I don't feel nothing.
What are you going to feel, though? If something like that happens to you, what are you going to feel?
I kind of want to try, though, bro. I am. I'm just there. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I don't give a shit no more. Just let's go. You know what I'm saying?
You know what Rainey said to me? I said the same thing to her, and she said, go for it. So I think I just had permission. My to-do list, I can throw a ghost on there. But the only problem I have, let's say a ghost lures you in, or it's there. You don't even have to call it in. You know, you got your little, you got your,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
All of a sudden, you go, hey, if you are like over there in the spirit world and you haven't had any for a while, here I am.
Dude,
And
I'm in.
let's say it actually happened. Uh, what would you see? How would it feel? So, would it start off with something kind of sexy and end up with something very demonic that wants to eat your soul?
Like the ending, would it be like space? Like, where would it
Yeah.
go? Would it like
Where
because
would it? Yeah, where would it go?
you
It's,
know what I'm
it's like
saying, bro?
watching skeletons drink a cup of wine.
It's kind of
you know?
interesting to see, like, if you peed in space, it's like, where would it go? It would bubble up and just kind of float
Turns into
around.
all the little bubbles.
Would the same
And it
thing
floats
happen
around,
when
you go,
you have sex with a ghost? With your, you know what I'm saying?
That is a very good question.
Wouldn't that be
Sarah
weird
Yusuf.
if you saw it float away? If you just saw a little blob, you know what I'm saying? Float away?
Yes. Sarah
Oh,
Yusuf just came in and asks, hello all, what are we talking about?
sex with ghosts and mermaids.
Sex with ghosts and mermaid.
Yeah, hey,
Sex with a mermaid.
Miss Leslie.
No, there's another
what's up?
one.
Yeah, I would, but I just want to say, I lost 70 pounds. Just to
Yeah,
address
I
what
know.
you were saying there. I lost 70 pounds. I've had 7 hernias and 4 surgeries in the last like 16 months. And the last 6 months have been the worst 6 months of my life. I'm being completely honest with you. And we're
Wow.
finally on the uphill climb. I'm just kind of addressing what you were saying there. So we finally figured out what was causing it, and now we're addressing it. And so hopefully within the next 6 months, I'll have
Well,
my
good.
weight and we'll be good to go.
I mean, not that you're going to make any reveals on this show, but it's not like anything big and major. Like, if we don't do this, you're going to die.
No, it's nothing
All right.
like that. It's just, sometimes we have, how like in life, sometimes we're bothered by something, we can't figure out what the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying? We're just
Right.
like, oh my God. But it's something that was completely off hinge that you would never have ever thought of would have been like a core issue of something that's causing a bunch more external issues, right?
Sure.
So this thing that I had was a minor infection in my pelvis. And it's 1 out of 5 men have this. They get this infection.
Yes.
And it's not that big of a deal, but it just depends on how much of the infection your body absorbs. And depending on how much of the infection your body absorbs, it thins your stomach lining. When your stomach lining thins, you get effing freaking hernias, bro. And so we were addressing the hernias. We weren't, because we didn't even think about any other issue. We were just addressing the hernias. And we literally just figured it out. But
Wow.
I don't have any insurance right now, brother, because Sedgwick. Bro, listen to this, man. Folks, listen. I went to the Attorney General. We're going national on this shit because I am pissed. Sedgwick is this company that when you go out on short-term disability, Scotty, you're familiar with Sedgwick, right? You
Yes,
know
I
who
am.
Okay. So they're the company, right? Because they're the savage company that deals with this stuff for the big corporations and try to save them as much money as possible. I've been on this disability for 5 months, and out of the blue, they just decided that they didn't like how the doctor extended my stay, to not go to work. And so they declined my short-term disability. Now listen, and I'm not looking for a boohoo on this because I've been there, I'm through this, and there's already a game plan. And you know what? This was meant to happen. It was meant to happen.
Right.
So they declined me. So now I have not seen a paycheck in 7 weeks. And I've been because now you have to fight for their bullshit. So they decided to create, because here's the thing is that most people in our condition, in our position, the middle class, lower middle class, we can't afford to fight this shit, right? We can't afford attorneys.
No,
we can't afford all that. So it's a game they play with everybody. And they're just like, we'll see it and we'll deal with whoever wants to fight it. Whoever fights it, we'll figure it out. But the 80% of the people that don't fight it, they just save these corporations literally millions of freaking dollars because
And it's all about the bottom line.
It's all about the bottom line, bro. So now I get these letters this week from my insurance companies because I have been denied or declined. So I haven't got a paycheck. So my paycheck benefits haven't been getting paid. So now I lost all my fucking benefits. Now I don't have health insurance.
boy.
I don't have dental. I don't have health insurance. I was supposed to go see the surgeon in 3 weeks. And they literally, it's like I have nothing. I'm homeless this week. I'm literally homeless. I'm bringing my family home for 2 months. I got to bring everybody home for 2 months because of this shit. I am fucking homeless because of another company, and they're bro.
So how
do not give these companies this kind of power? We cannot give nobody, dude, not even judges, this kind of power to make decisions, especially at technicality when you know that there's a real medical condition. We cannot give these companies this kind of power to play with people's fucking lives like this, bro. It's bullshit. Right. And I'm not a rarity. There are people all over this country that have horror stories because companies like Sedgwick. And you know what, bro? I got time. I got time for pieces of shit, dude, because I'm going to tell you something. Here's the biggest lesson that I've learned since I've been down here. Most of what we see is bullshit. Most of what we admire is bullshit. Those people that preach their shit, those people that are always having their fucking FaceTimes, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They're nothing of what they preach and who they claim to be. And that's what pisses me off. And the biggest hypocritical industry is the conservative fucking talk show industry, because you can't preach all your Jesus. And then the second that microphone goes off, you go do everything against what you just preached about.
Oh, man, you and I were having that conversation 5 years ago.
I am so just burnt out of it, bro. I'm burnt out of the fakery, you know. And then you go to these corporations and they create all these policies, and these policies are created as a weapon against the employees, because there's so many policies, bro, that every single person is breaking a policy every day without even knowing. Just because it's just, you know, you look at a girl in the eyes for 1 to 3 seconds, that's sexual harassment.
Oh, yeah.
Corporations, you know what I'm saying? So they use it as a weapon towards the people that they don't like. And the fact that, these companies like Sedgwick can sit here and do this bullshit, bro, I'm going national with it. Because, I mean, what the hell do I have to lose? I got to bring my family home because we're going to be homeless because of this shit. And I'm not, like I said, let it happen.
Well, I will tell you this. The upside, you'll be 15 minutes away. Instead of, straight down to Texas. Folks, he lives in a straight line south of me, just about 19 hours by car.
This is, dude, as a man, right?
Yeah.
There's no glory to this. And it's like, as much as I want to say I'm going to be excited to see people, I have to tuck my fucking tail between my legs.
Yeah. Because everybody's going to want the story.
And the humiliation,
you're going to find
to look your children in the eyes and to explain to them why there's no food in that refrigerator, and because we're proud people, and there's no reason as a 50-year-old professional man that has the abilities that I do, that works for Lockheed Martin, that has the job I have at the salary that I have, there is no reason why people like me should be kicked to the fucking curb the second we have a medical crisis, because we're in that price frame. You know what I'm saying? We make just enough money to say, you suck. You're not dependent enough on the fucking government, so we're not going to help you out at all until you're homeless. And that's literally what happens. That's literally what happens. And you know what? We need to stop worrying about offending people, right? We need to stop. Look at what happened with Facebook. Facebook has created such a complacent group of zombie mentalities that anytime anybody even posts anything political, everybody's like, whoa, a political post. Holy shit. Wow, it's been forever since I've seen one of those. And then we forget about the real life stuff, and we get caught up in this little fake ass little world in this metaverse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We are so disconnected, bro. We're so
Ellery wanted to say hello, by the way. She asked
what up,
me
girl?
That was Rowan.
Oh, that was Rowan? I mix them up. So this is the little one.
Don't worry about it. You're getting the ages wrong, man. You're getting the ages wrong. What's going on, girl? I cannot believe I can't even recognize her, dude. This is tripping me out.
So, what? Her shirt says it all. I don't give a donkey. I don't give a rat's ass. Oh, there you go. And she can actually wear that to school without getting in trouble. But Rowan got made to change her shirt when she had a big American eagle in the old-fashioned crest with the United States flag, and it said "Let's go, Brandon" in very classic type, and she had to take it off.
Dude, there's a lot of disappointment and a lot of what I like. A lot of the last year and a half of my life, because you try to build stuff, man, and you become this motivator guy, right? And you become this monster of doing things, and then you become broken, right?
Yes.
And because it's been a while since you've been broken, and there's some things while you're being broken that you weren't prepared for. Dude, I can go to fucking war in the streets. I will go fight those wars every single day. But the emotional brokenness, the humiliation type of brokenness, the loneliness, the mental loneliness type of stuff, nobody is ever prepared for that. I don't care who you are, how strong you are. And then that depression kicks in. And the last 7 or 8 months, dude, the depression has been, I'm so restricted. I feel like a caged animal because there's days I can't walk, so it's just like you go from one lifestyle to the other. And then when you go into the public and I go to these events, the energy it takes, dude, it takes just to come across as Rocky. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You feel so fake because you have to produce to be the meatball. Right. And that's something that should be natural, but that's how disconnected you get, right? And it's hard because I understand a lot of people, they're like, dude, you don't call, you disappear. It's like, well, no, it's a little bit deeper than that. I'm trying to motor forward while I'm trying to face demons, while I'm trying to deal with the health crisis, while I'm trying to go through this culture shock that this whole perception of what I thought was really isn't. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And now I'm to a point where it's just like, we have to prove in this industry. This is how pissed off I am with all this corporate fake ass bullshit, with all this political fake ass bullshit, with all this social media fake ass people posting their fake Jesus stuff and then going and doing the bullshit behind the scenes.
Right.
With all that, I'm so sick of it, dude, that we need to make sure we don't disappear. We need to make sure that we let motherfuckers know that, hey, check it out. Good people are here too. And guess what? You can't touch us because we got friends you don't have. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't touch us. I dare you to try. Because good people are going to take the streets back. We need to take those streets back. We need to take this industry back because, dude, the responsibility that we have with these microphones is unbelievable. And we have lost touch with that responsibility.
Truth.
And we need to bring that back, bro.
Truth. And, one of the things that I think is I have started, just like you and I both did this at one point. I remember when you distinctly did it.
Did you
stepping away from politics for a while.
When you take a bath, bro, a bubble bath, your balls float. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. And we've all had those times where we're like, oh, I'm tired of talking to politics because it's the same old thing every day. There's something new. I'm getting tired of it. I want to be happy. I want to give some good information out there. And so you try something else, and then something comes up and it keeps eking back in. But I have some people who listen to this show who are like, oh, he's doing a political show. I'm not going to listen tonight. And because everybody's had it up to here with political ideological junk.
Well,
government or
maybe people have had it up to here because nobody's done a damn thing to stop it, right? So now it doesn't exist, and now it's
still on us,
out of control, dude. Now it's like if we don't talk about it, we're in trouble. Yep. Because we're already, bro. I'm going to tell you the shit I seen down here in Texas. Are you effing kidding me? Dude, by the hundreds of thousands under the bridges, they're everywhere. The illegals are everywhere. Now, I go into the emergency room, right? I pay for my benefits. I'm a middle-class working American. I go into the emergency rooms and I get put aside because the emergency rooms down here are packed full of illegals because they don't set up doctor's appointments. They just go with their whole families to the emergency rooms because they all got runny noses. You know what I'm saying? So while you're dealing with the medical crisis, you have to wait for the family of 13 to all go get their Robitussin from the fucking doctor. Sorry, I'm swearing. I don't know why I'm swearing so much.
It's all right. You've already blown my monetization of this episode for tonight.
What?
So
for swearing?
Keep going. Just let her rip.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, I have had YouTube come because I said the word fuck or I said Jesus or I said whatever. And I've had, we had to demonetize your episode because you used the foul language. I don't remember the language they use in their little disclaimer, and they get on me and I say, why can't you monetize it? Well, we can't present this show to advertisers, so you're demonetized for this show. And because they don't want to hear the language. I said, you aren't checking with the right advertisers, because I know advertisers that wouldn't care.
Yeah,
but
that's another thing we're doing too, brother, is that this whole suppression, Stucci Media just started. And what we're doing, okay? I need 6 more months. I need 6 more months to get it where I want it, but I need it to be breathing. So I got shows on there. We'll bring your show on there. We're bringing all the old schoolers back, bro. We're bringing old school back. It's so important. And I'll explain all this when the time's right, why this is so important while I'm saying all this.
Yeah.
Stucci Media is coming back for a purpose. There are so many good people like the Robert Bowers and the Scotty Roberts. All the people, dude, that
why'd you put him first?
Dude, did I say him first?
Yeah.
I didn't mean that. I was because
so deeply offended.
My balls were itching, so every time my balls itch, I think of power. And that's probably why.
All I think of when you said that was John Ward going, why do you always list ROCCI STUCCI first and not me?
Because he talks like a, you know what I'm saying?
Anyway.
So dude, here is the thing. And another thing I noticed too is that a lot of people that have the skills and the talents, they get eaten alive by the industry. They get eaten alive by people that are seeking talent because there's so many people that talk so much shit that they actually don't have abilities to do anything. Right. And then they go find people that are desperate for opportunity, and then they soak them dry. I need this industry to know that there is a safe space, right word. It's the right word to use and I want it to be known that when you come onto our network, it's our network, it's a family network. When you come onto what we're building, that every single show on that platform is protected by the savages in the industry. And the savages in the industry know my name. They know my name. And they know that this motherfucker's coming at them if they're going to come and try to take from good people. Because I am so sick and tired. I'm looking at Roger Rabbit. I watched him and his family, bro. I've watched him and his family for how long? With their struggles, with several years. I broadcast that Miracle League every Saturday morning. I go out in that field with those little kids. That's the only place I ever want to be because it's the only place I can go and never get judged. In fact, those kids can't wait for me to get there because they love when we do those videos. I see all the time what these families are going through. That's why it's hard for me to complain about what I'm going through because my shit's fixable. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm looking at what these families are going through. I'm looking at what these kids are going through. And then I see their ailments and their disabilities used as promotional material. And I see celebrities show up and we have to remind them where they are and what event it is. And it's just like, oh, you're here because an agent told you to be here because it's part of your PR balance, right?
Right.
I'm sick of that shit, dude. I want realism. I want that. And I want that network to represent that. Same thing with the corporations. We have gone so woke in corporations. Think about when 3M first started, because that's our, 3M's from where we live. When 3M first started, that's all you ever heard about is how much the employees were respected and how the CEOs and the presidents used to come down on the floor just to hang out and have some cigarettes with the boys and shit, And that's when you had some of the biggest development in that company's history because people felt appreciated. Super simple. They just felt appreciated and they felt valued. And now we devalue people. And now we have a society of broken souls and a bunch of people who think they're fucking turtles and taking shits in litter boxes in grade school. You know what I mean?
Right. And people wonder why there is a rage element that's out there in our society. I have found even me, lovable, peaceful, huggable me, with steady mind, even keel. I've gotten to the place where and so I've gotten to the place where I do not like putting up with the crap from people anymore. And I've gotten a little more caustic. I've gotten a little less professional, not less professional, but a little more caustic than I have in the past, because it's like, look, I don't want to hear the BS anymore. I want to express what I'm expressing, and I want you to shut up. Oh, that was another thing we always say. Shut up.
Shut up. You know what I'm saying? Just shut up.
That's right.
Shut up.
And
I felt so
people
bad.
are angry because of all of this. And I think the one good thing that has come from, we've gone through the age of reason, we've gone through the Renaissance, we've gone through, avant-garde, we've got all these different times, the age of this, the age of that, the age of that. We are in the age of information right now.
And we're the
And the
dumbest we've
age of
ever been.
information, what's that?
And we're the dumbest we've ever been.
And we're the dumbest we've ever been. And Leslie Holker, you got to put a hashtag in front of that. Hashtag shut up. SHUDDUP.
And that was so good. It feels so good to say.
It was. Shut up.
Shut
And
up.
and then people, oh, you obviously can't answer the question. It's like, shut up.
Shut up.
No, I just don't want to argue with you anymore, dumbass.
Dumbass.
And that's the way it's gotten. And I don't know that I was going anywhere in particular than that other than to acknowledge it, because that's where I've gotten lately. That's where I look at Jeremy Hansen's out there.
Yep.
He's in politics now. Did you see his post? Jeremy Hansen, they lost their house.
Speaking of Jeremy Hansen, I've been meaning to actually, here's another patient individual. He messages me. I've been meaning to get a hold of him about some things. But yeah, he was telling me about the house situation and powerless, bro. Powerless.
Yeah. And there's absolutely nothing you can do. You know that beautiful house that Rainey and I had in the woods with the pond out of Somerset?
Yep.
We were there. We were buying that house. Believe it or not, 4+ acres, all wooded, the ponds and the wild ponds and the big house and all that. $169,000. We were on a contract for deed. Then the bridge opened up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he wanted to try to push us out in the worst way ever. I was in the hospital with, I don't remember if it was for my heart. No, it was for the hip a year later. And I missed the payment on the 1st, and we had until the 5th to get it in every month. I was driving home on the 5th at 5 p.m, and I texted him. I said, dude, I've been in the hospital for the last 3 or 4 days. And I said, I've got your payment. I'm going to go run and deposit it in your Wells Fargo account. And at 3 a.m. that same night, I got an eviction notice because we missed the cutoff.
Bro, all right.
And he sold the house for, get this, we were paying $169,000. He sold the house for over $350,000.
Damn.
Because of the bridge opening.
Slap that dude. Dude, it's yeah, I literally, so because I'm on a month-to-month, my landlord raised our rent $400 freaking dollars, dude. So we went on a month-to-month. And so if you hit the 5th day, it's eviction. They don't F around. They don't F around down here, bro. They're just,
I'll just put somebody else in it.
Yep. So we just got our court papers. I'm not even ashamed to say it anymore, bro, because you know what? I'm so not at fault here. And when all this gets exposed, that's why I told Lisa, let it all happen, because I'm literally becoming homeless and being evicted while I can't walk during a medical crisis. I'm not getting help from Lockheed. It's just like, where are all these? Okay, so all this money that comes out of my check every week, all these packages and shit that I buy that I don't even know what I'm paying for, because there's all these little things I get. Where's all that help, right? And then when the middle class needs extra help, like maybe food, no, we got to go stand in line. We got to go to the food shelf, right? And that's not degrading enough. It's just like, what happened in our country that we've actually become the biggest working slave class in the history of the world?
That is a good question.
Dude, I just came up with that shit. It just flowed out. I don't know where it came from.
It just came from us from the gut. It's inspirational. And it's that's exactly what we have become. When I was talking to my kids, they're not privileged in the woke sense. My kids are privileged in that, you want your kids to have the things you didn't have. You always want to treat them well. You do all this thing, but you're still parenting them. But my kids are like, Dad, I need some money for this. Dad, I need money for that. Yeah, because they're at that age now. And everything's money. Every day it's something new. They come down with their phone and they're going, look, Dad, Dad, this thing. Look at this thing. I need this thing. And I'm like, dudes, we don't have money right now. We don't have that money. We're coasting sometimes.
Yep.
And for some of the things I was talking about to you earlier. And so I said, no, we can't do that. And they're like, they don't get it. And so my son was asking me about taxes. I was trying to explain taxes and trying to be all esoteric and talk to him about the American Revolution. And, it in part started between 2 and 4% tax on tea, on a breakfast drink, and without representation. And that sparked, in part, the American Revolution. And I said, look at it now, son. I said, I pay this much in tax percentage. Mom pays this much. Rainey works at the little thrift store for $20 an hour.
Hey, did your kid even know what he was getting into when he came and asked you such a question? I mean, bro, that's like a 2-hour answer from the cannoli. That's
right. But see, the beautiful part, we were driving somewhere, so I had him.
Dude, that's actually a good moment, though. It's a good father parent moment, though, really, because it's a genuine conversation about our history. Because you think that. Who was it that asked? Who was it? Was it? Oh, so do you think Flynn at all would pay attention to a teacher about what you were talking about as much as he was paying attention to you?
Nope. Because
so it was way more effective.
And we were able to, put in personal anecdote into that while we're talking. And so, son, it's this and this. And I said, do you realize what we really cut to the chase on was, or to the quick was, look, son, we may have to pay 26% tax. I said, but do you know that after we pay that, we also have to pay then with what's left over, tax on our internet, tax on our car, tax on our gas, tax on our this, that, the list.
Yep.
And he's like, I could see his eyes rolling, not rolling back, and his head spinning. And he's like, oh my God. I said, yeah, the average person pays between 50 and 65% of their income for taxes.
Or horse.
And I said, now something's got to be done about that. I said, what are you going to do when you grow up?
We are prostitutes, bro. We are prostitutes.
We are
freaking gazelles. We're gazelles. And just as long as we're not the one getting being eaten by that little pack of lions over there, we'll stand with the other 5 million over here and just kind of look the other direction and pretend that shit ain't happening. You know what I mean? Dude, I'm just coming up with shit tonight. I don't know where it's coming from, but I got to tell you, dude, that I was doing 5 minutes, just the last 5 minutes, not even realizing that I was holding my balls the whole time.
That's what we do, isn't it?
It is. I was
like, Rocky, where's your hands?
You were talking, and I didn't even realize, dude, that I was juggling. It's so weird as shit, bro.
Yeah, I had to get into the habit of looking at Rocky while we were doing a radio and go, bro, where's your hands? You can sit right here.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
So, that's what we would do. And it was kind of nice. It's kind of nice when you sit and nobody can see down here. You don't know where our hands are. Sometimes we've got to cup the manhood in order to, it's like it's not quite like a being in the womb thing, but it's like a tightening, the quickening,
it is womb comparable. I never thought about it. You know what I'm saying?
Think about it.
Pre-birth.
Yes. Where were your hands before you were born?
Holding my balls. Guarantee you that, bro. I was all curled up. I asked somebody one time, they told me they remembered being in their mom's stomach. They did. They told me that. They said they remembered. I guarantee you they
maybe that's why you got what's going on now.
Bro.
Because in vitro, your balls were in your stomach.
I don't like that at all. That actually can hurt when you just have balls and stomach in the same sense. I'll
bet it does.
Okay? I got issues going on still. So, bro, balls and stomach ain't a good thing.
Leslie says that's freaking nuts.
What? What's nuts? The balls?
Oh, she was talking to Linda Adamski. Here in Maryland, as of July 1st, our registration stickers for our vehicles have doubled. My tags for my car and for 2 years, $440 fucking dollars.
Dude, I'm so sick of this, dude. All of it. I'm sick of all of it. And sick of Republicans too, because you know what? Where have they been? Where have they been?
Shit.
Nothing has been stopped. There's been no resistance for anything at all. We have depleted our oil reserves while China and North Korea and Russia and everybody else is having circle jerks talking about blowing the shit out of us. They're setting up down in Cuba, you know. And what are we talking about? Cutting off the dicks of 4-year-old boys.
Get to America.
God, we are so nuts. We are just nuts. We're nuts. We're
I will
freaking
ranch my riches on you.
What?
So, sorry.
That was pretty good.
Oh, that was
Hey, did you hear what happened today with freaking Ward?
No, what happened with Ward today? I know. Oh, yes.
Abdallah.
At the hotel in Luxor. Abdallah. Folks,
dude, I think
John did a video from poolside while they were taking a little break post-season at their site of Gebel El Silsila, and they're up in Luxor, taking a few days off at one of the 5-star, what used to be a 5-star hotel in Luxor. Now, don't think Luxor is all this glorious. It's not.
It stinks like hot dog water.
Shithole.
It stinks like hot
it's
dog
got
water.
Nice places, and it's kept nice, but it's still dusty and dirty and all of this. And the economy's not great there, but they have some 5-star hotels.
2 of them.
So they were there, and their Men Friday, Abdullah, who does, when I was there, he does all the cooking on the boat. Abdullah has been taking care of John and Maria's kids. He's been like the Manny around the house.
Does great back rubs, great shoulder rubs,
everything.
Abdullah
was fantastic. And at this 5-star hotel owned by Egyptians, they would not let him stay there. They have put up a new policy that if you were Egyptian, you can't stay in the hotel.
I would resist.
Even if he's with the archaeological team.
You Egyptian, you know, welcome here. You must go down the street with all the other Egyptians.
That's right. Yalla.
Dude, that is so okay. All right. So, racism.
Yep.
Always existed. Racism will always exist. Hatred will always exist. So I think if we kind of stepped out of this little utopian reality and just looked at the world for what it really is, I think we can kind of combat it a little bit differently and make it a little bit legal to slap a son of a bitch every once in a while.
I'll bet you they'd let Zawi Hawass stay there, by the way.
I would fight him, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Do you
Come to Egypt. Egypt is safe. That's what he would tell us.
I think you freaking spit in my eye, bro. That took a lot of energy. What just happened? Oh, hey, can I say something?
Yeah, you can.
I don't know how to take this. All right, so 2 nights ago, I was crying in my backyard in the middle of the night. So I was trying to take that shit like a man, right? It wasn't working. And I looked up at this universe, dude, and just like, fucking man, just give me this, give me something for breathing room. You know what I'm saying? Just this everyday barrage bullshit, right? What's the message, And and I know people are so genuine. They're just like, well, he's part of the plan. Don't tell me that bullshit no more. All right, I get it. Okay, if it's part of the plan, cool. Tell me when this shit is done so I can absorb it differently than I am right now. And I just give me a sign. So the next day I go out there. This is now a few nights ago. I go out there. Same time, it was about 1 or 2 in the morning. It gets super dark where I live. I light the little candles in the backyard, and second I looked up in the sky, dude, there's a big flash in one spot.
Oh.
It was just a big flash. And dude, the second before I could even process the flash, all the hair on my body stood up. All the freaking hair on my body stood up. So I was just like, that was a sign. That was a sign, right?
Was it like a lightning?
No, it was just like an orb flash, like a strobe light, and then gone. Nothing. And I stayed staring in that area for maybe another 2 more minutes. Just because sometimes shit flickers, man. You know what I'm saying? Weird shit goes on up in that space world up there. Things blink. And I was just seeing if it was going to blink again. And it didn't. But then the next night, I've been having nightmares. Couple nights I woke up screaming, reaching. I think I was reaching towards my closet. But the other night I woke up and I was directed to, no, I didn't wake up. I'm sorry. I was sitting up in my bed and I looked over and I don't know really what it was. The only thing I can say is it looked like a feather fall from my ceiling to the floor, but there's nothing there. And no, listen, I was totally conscious. I was totally aware of it. It wasn't a questionable thing. It wasn't like, oh fuck, did I see that for real? Oh man, I don't know. People are gonna think I'm nuts. Should I even not tell people? I saw it was ectoplasm. Maybe it looked like a feather.
Maybe.
It looked like a feather falling to the floor.
Right.
And I don't know what any of that is, bro. But I am really hoping that bright flash was acknowledgement, and that feather was a symbol of it's gonna be okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Interesting. On a different take on that from the source is interesting.
Mail. Oh, I love that name. I would cuddle with you, and I don't even know you just because.
What? Oh, murder mitten Mayo monster. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see the monster part. That's even better. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Murder Mitten Mail Monster.
There you go. Welcome. It was interesting. William Shatner, who played Captain Kirk for 6 decades almost.
Really?
He went up into space, remember, with the SpaceX, was it?
Yeah, I remember that.
And he made some comments on something that he wrote, and he said, one thing that really astounded me, everybody thinks I went up there and I saw space and I played this character in space for so many years. And he says, I was ready for something big, some big revelation. And he says, I saw the planet below us. I saw the blackness of space above us.
Racist.
And he said, racist. He said, all I could come away with was we're alone. He says, I don't know if there's anything out there or not. He says, but I felt very alone. And this is a guy, at his age, he's starting to trying to come to terms with his mortality. He said,
you think that bothered some of the Trek Wars people that,
I think it probably did.
That said that, well, wait a minute, this dude was screwing freaking aliens with 3 titties.
Yeah.
2 decades ago. You know what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden he's shitting it out there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Man, what's up?
I don't think he did the 3 titty one.
He didn't do those?
That was no. That was Arnold Schwarzenegger in some other movie.
Oh.
The Mars movie.
That movie. I want that movie then.
The Mars movie, yeah.
Would that be weird?
He had the green one though.
Would it be weird? 3 of them?
I think I'm conditioned for 2. It's like I'm sorry, I don't want to give too much information out.
It's overwhelming.
But it's kind of nice to have a crevice.
I mean, dude, what if you got cottonmouth?
But if you got 2 of them, because you got 3 and there's 2, it's like it would throw me off. I'd be imbalanced or something.
I'm feeling you, bro. I'm feeling you. Yeah, I am. I'm just not.
Are you holding your nutsack?
I kind of am right now.
You still are.
Yeah. You want to see it?
So, a Murder Mitten says, he says, I'm greedy. Give me 4. There are 2 lights.
What the hell was that all about?
You wouldn't understand that. That's a Star Trek.
I didn't know. Okay. I was like, damn, what? This happened.
Yeah. Field guy says you can't motorboat with 3.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you'd have to improvise unless cannoli.
Sorry, ladies. Don't be offended. Don't judge.
You could. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you could. Yeah. It's more.
Do you remember that one time I told you about that first year I did the Renaissance, and there's a lady there. She was dressed as the female monkey from the Planet of the Apes.
Oh,
dude, it was the best costume I've ever seen in my life. I mean, like her lips moved when she talked.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
but she was hot, right?
I don't even care because the mask would have stayed on. I had ideas. Dude, how many dudes can say hammered a chimpanzee? You know what I'm saying, bro? I mean, come on. I would have been like, bro, me.
Is it in your DNA?
Holy crap.
Pardon me, have you evolved yet?
I would have been like, make the noises and everything. You know what I'm saying? Just
yeah. Be chimp for me. Chimp out on me.
Oh my God, dude.
Oy. All
right,
there's
you
trouble
can have the mermaid.
There's trouble right here.
You can have the mermaid, and I'll have,
That's the thing. Mermaids, they're like great. You see a hot mermaid in the movies and stories, fiction. A hot mermaid is going to be built phenomenally, defying gravity. Well, usually if you see them in the water, they defy gravity anyway, and all that entails. Yet when it comes to, I like legs. I'm a I'm sorry. I am not ashamed to admit, folks, yes, my wife is built magnificently. There are certain things about her that I love, but I like her butt. I like legs. I like all of that stuff.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
like a whole package kind of guy. So I'm sorry, there's no fish from the waist down that's going to lure me in with nice breasts.
Yeah, but do you think mermaids wear deodorant?
Probably not. I would think you put that on and you're under the sea, it's just going to wash right off.
Yeah, well, there's other things that should be washing off too, but still have a little tinge. You know what I'm saying, bro?
How do you know what they've got?
I don't really.
You're a fish.
It's my imagination. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I just came
And
up.
yes, field guy, you are correct. I hit the jackpot.
What'd you say?
There
What'd
it
you
is.
say? What'd you say?
He said I hit the jackpot with Rainey. And I said,
It's all true.
why? Yes,
It's all
I
true.
have.
It's all true.
And Tom Beckers feels the same way about his wife, Helen. Outstanding gentleman.
Dude, I'll tell you something. There's a loyal father and a husband right there. That dude is a true representation of how to love a wife. He does it right, man. I mean, you see his stuff on Facebook. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I have.
That's how
Many times.
That's how you love a woman, man.
There it is.
We're always getting yelled at, Becker. I don't know why. Okay, we don't know. We're trying to figure it out.
Yelled at all the time.
All the time, dude. It's like, when am I the boss? I want to be the boss one day a week where I don't get yelled at shit.
There's this thing about being a 63-year-old grown-up man that I can't make independent decisions. I'm not allowed. I get yelled at. What? Did you make a decision? Why didn't you check that decision with me?
Yeah.
Because I'm a grown-up. God damn it.
I know, dude. That does kind of get me mad, man.
I know.
You know? Ouch.
That's it. That's it. But, it is what it is.
It's like on Father's Day, man. Ladies, hey, man, I love you. Trust me. Between Cannoli and I, man, the amount of verbal respect we give to you women is unbelievable, right?
It's off the scales.
But do me a favor. Father's Day, just shut up, okay? Because we know and recognize all you single women out there. Hey, we got some right here that are some of the badass moms on the freaking planet, right? But even they step aside and say, hey, man, we know there's some good dudes out there with some ball sacks that do some good ball sack shit. You know what I'm saying? So we need to make sure that we recognize those ball sacks.
Yes. I will tell you, I have really enjoyed my son Sam growing up.
Dude,
he's pushing his mid-20s now.
There was about 3 months I was worried about Sam, just for 3 months.
Yeah, same here. I had my moments. I was worried I'm going to visit Sam in prison or something. And I don't know if he's out there listening. Sam, if you are, you need to call in. But he's really turned into a fantastic guy,
dude.
And oh man, there's some stories about after Dave Potter died.
Yeah,
Uncle Dave. Sam grew up knowing Dave as Uncle Dave. All my kids did.
I remember all that.
Sam was probably one of my girls were very affected, but Sam was, I think, the most affected of my kids. By Uncle Dave's death.
I can see that. I can see why, though. Now, your daughters actually, they were tiny little tots around Dave.
Yes.
Right? But now they
were about the time they were 2 or 3 years old was when I met Dave. And they're 32 now. So I met Dave. Well, we had moved from Detroit. So they were born already. They were under a year old when I met Dave. So I've known Dave for 32 years. And 31. And so they grew up knowing Dave as Uncle Dave. And Sam grew up knowing Dave as Uncle Dave. Yep. My 3 kids now, Flynn, Rowan, and Ellery, they all have grown up knowing Dave as Uncle Dave. And Sam, and my regular listening audience knows this, but haven't heard some of this stuff. Sam was doing he had a dream. He had a dream the night that we learned Dave had passed away.
Yeah, I remember that.
And his dream, he saw Dave standing at the end of a dock, looking up at a big, tall sailing ship. Hi, Rainey. You going to come and say hi to Rocky?
Hey, did you say something about he said Dave having very blue eyes?
What?
Did you say that Sam said something about Dave having very blue eyes in the dream? Like his eyes were super blue, or am I thinking of something else?
No, that's something else.
Okay, my bad.
Because in his dream, Rainey doesn't want to come over and say hello. She's
Yeah, I don't care.
taken off all her supportive equipment and she's just wearing a string tank top and going to
Yeah,
bed.
she's gonna pull that shit when I come over and just be like, I don't want to come down and say hello.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Whatever.
she knows. So, but in his dream, Dave's standing at the end of a dock, and there's a big sailing ship. It's white, gold fixtures, silver sails, and Dave's not saying anything. His back is to Sam, and next thing Sam said, I know I'm standing next to him at the end of the dock. He's looking up at the ship, and he says, and then Dave kind of has that churlish little smile, and he goes, he says, fair winds are blowing for a blessed voyage. And he woke up. And he asked, and Sam was just bawling about this the next day when he told me about it. And I said, well, that sounds very contacty, that type of dream. Well, then now Sam has picked him up on his spirit box. He's got a whole little shrine set up to Dave with a bunch of artifacts and things and costumes and swords and stuff that he inherited from Dave. And he's got his spirit box going, and Sam is saying something like, well, Uncle Dave, I miss you. And he starts crying. And then a voice comes through the box and says, don't cry, bud. And he says, I'm okay. Two different, and Sam lost it, of course. And so he's had all that. And I don't know if you've seen it. Everybody on my show has seen it. Everybody stay here. Don't go anywhere. I want to play this for Rocky. Rocky, if you have not seen this, turn up your sound a little bit. This is out at the festival site, doing the thing that you and I had done for several years, the Phantom's Feast at Halloween. And afterwards, we went up on the knoll. You remember the knoll? You remember some of the things?
That's our favorite spot. That was our spot.
Stuff we picked up out there. And we even, by the way, we walked way down past the bakery stage, way back into that back corner between the bakery stage and the ship. And we had my Frank's box, my old Frank's box. And security had told Chuck Hendrickson told us some guy died in there a couple of years ago up in that during the winter. So we walked down there. We were asking, hey, is anybody here that was found here? And he says, I'm freezing. Came the voice through the box. And a woman's voice say, haunted. Came through the old Frank's box. Well, anyway.
You said the pirate ship, though? The pirate ship?
It was before we got to the pirate ship.
Okay.
But we were up on the knoll, the hilltop, and I was just checking to see if Dave was running. It was after hours. Audience is all gone. Rainey, Sam, and me. And I asked, Uncle Dave, or Dave, hey, I love you, Dave. And then his voice came through the box. And Rainey recorded this, filmed it. And then I looked up and she says what she heard him say. And I said something, and then he says it again. So I want you to listen to this really close. It's 17 seconds long.
Okay.
So turn up your sound or listen tightly and see what you hear. And there's all kinds of gibberish as you know these things work.
Got it.
But here it is. Goes like this.
Dave, I love you, brother.
I miss you too.
I miss you too, I heard.
Yep.
Did you guys hear that?
I heard that.
I miss you, Dave.
Play it again.
Twice. All right, here we go. One more time.
Dave, I love you, brother.
I miss you too.
I miss you too, I heard.
Yep.
Did you guys hear that?
I heard that.
I miss you, Dave.
Dude, that was his voice, dude.
That was his voice. I'm telling you.
No, dude, 100%. That was his voice. And I usually don't fall for his voice thing.
Yeah.
That was his voice.
That was Dave's voice.
Crazy. Wow.
And I remember after the first, I don't know what he said exactly on the second one. The first one was, I miss you too.
clear as
And then
day.
the second one, he said, I miss you too again, or he said something else in there. I'm going to play it one more time. Listen to the second one and see if you can tell what he's saying. Here we go, folks. One more time. For those of you who've heard it 100 times, here we go.
Dave, I love you, brother.
I miss you too.
I miss you too, I heard.
Yep,
Did you guys hear that?
I heard that.
I miss you, Dave.
Oops, I thought he said, I love you too, but I can't tell.
I can't tell.
I gotta bring it up and listen to it.
So I have to pull it up and take some little bit of the background sound out and amplify that shit up and hear it. But you almost don't need to. The first part, that's the difference. When you don't need to pull anything up, take no background noise out, when you don't need to even touch the audio, that, bro, is what I'm talking about. That's very cool.
Rocky, we are at the end of the first hour. Believe it or not, it is 9:59. I usually take a little break here and we slip over into the captain's cabin. So I'm going to take about 1 minute and break so everybody can go pee. Can you stick around for a few minutes?
I got a few minutes. Absolutely.
Because I want to talk to you a little more.
Let's go.
Folks, thanks for being here. Hang on. We're going to transfer from the actual Intrepid radio over to the captain's cabin, which is a little more informal, and you can call in during this time. So here we go. We're going to take out Live Long and Prosper if you got to leave. We'll be right back. Sit tight.
Join us every weeknight at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. The Intrepid radio program, a Scotty Roberts Productions broadcast.
Dave, I love you, brother.
I miss you too.
I miss you too, I heard.
Yep,
Did you guys hear that?
I heard that.
I miss you, Dave.
And welcome to the captain's cabin.
Dude, that was
Lovers. What?
That was so intense.
Thank you. It was meant to be.
I
wanted it to have that Errol Flynn type of in space. You know?
I like how it zoom in towards the window and then come into the cabin.
You're inside.
Oh, bro. I was feeling that was great. That was great.
The tail is a little long on that. I had left that open so we could do announcement things and all that, and I never did put any credits in there, and I just never got to it. So
what's time for that shit, man?
I love doing that stuff. And so
base frequencies, same base frequencies. Chuck Thurston.
Oh, I don't have my chat room on. Let me look again.
I'm here. Is this the base frequencies? Oh,
I'm technical skipped here. Skip. I'm channel skip here. I'm here is in the base three. Are you drinking again, Chuck?
I know. I'm still trying to figure it out, but in a weird way, I understood it. It's
Chuck
just
always sings the praises of some kind of bourbon or malt scotch or something like that. So
that sounds good, right? I haven't had a drink, dude, in a year and a half.
here's Roger Rabbit. I'll gladly listen to that 1,000 times more. I miss Uncle Dave. I never knew how much of an influence he made on me via the show. See, Dave was always part of the Captain's Cabin.
Yep.
And so I got into the habit of playing that clip before, in between everything.
I really wanted to help give him some advice on his setting up his camera and shit. You know, he always had this weird angle, and it was always like,
it was always he had it on his phone down on his lap.
Yep.
and he had this little green screen curtain on a plastic frame behind, but it wasn't long enough to cover anything.
Man, whatever it takes, man. You know, whatever it takes. It's weird when you think about the evolution in this and the shit that we did when we first started and compared to the shit that's available now. You know what I mean? And in regards to tools and internet and Facebook and live streams, and it's been a wild ride in this shit, man. It's been a wild 10 years.
Yeah. And remember, we were first talking about radio and doing radio together. And I'd been doing radio. I'd been doing radio with John. And you were like, man, I want to get into this. I've always wanted to do this. I've done a little bit of this before. What am I going to do? And then you just stepped right out and started the IPBN network.
Yeah,
and
that was just jumped right in, I guess, didn't I? Fuck,
IPBN.
IPBN.
Intrepid Paradigm Broadcast Network.
IPBN. Damn, bro, good memory.
And man, we had a ton of radio shows.
Yeah, so I started doing radio. Shit, I was so broke. I had to go to my mom and dad's house because I didn't have internet. And I went on Blog Talk Radio and I got some shows under my belt. And I was going through this really, really big paranormal kick. And, you know, I was on this journey trying to figure death out, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
And I think I saw you on an episode of Ancient Aliens. And, and it was something I don't know if it was.
That was 2012, 2013, right in there.
Yeah. And so it was something you were talking about. Then I found out that you lived close to me because I
15 minutes away.
And then we just started talking. And then one day, Cannoli's just like, hey, you want to just come on over? We'll bullshit a little bit, you know? And I came over there and he was all cutting the grass. And we sat out in the front yard for like 4 hours.
Drinking beer and
your book. And that's how we met, man. And then fucking 3 weeks later, dude, we had networks and shows, and it's what we do, bro.
Yeah,
that's what we do.
It's
get results.
Wow. And and that's where it all started. Then we did with John Ward. We ended up doing the Situation Room.
Yeah, that was a fun
show.
That was a fun show. Yeah, you could slap people on that show.
Which you did.
Yes, and I got slapped
on camera.
Yeah, no, the show was a good twist because John brought in the sissy side. You know, we needed sissy in the show.
The sissy European side.
Yeah, so he brought that in, and so that way nobody wanted to fight us anymore. Everybody wanted to slap the shit out of John all the time.
Right.
I got messages about him all the time because people couldn't stand the little snarky ass British. This chewing.
He would chew on the mic.
God,
and he said, John, you can't chew on the radio. And he's like, I'm masticating.
Oh, bro.
Like, dude.
I could just smack the shit out of him just thinking about it. I'm not even lying, man. Oh,
remember, we were on our way to a ghost investigation. It was for the farm down in Faribault, the old boys' home.
Not when he said the prayer.
No, it was that was different. That's when we were going to the Fernhill house.
Yes.
But on the way down there, John just breaks out for no reason. He goes, three men naked, 3 men go on a ghost hunt naked.
Did we record that?
What?
Did we record that?
I don't know that we have that one.
I remember that, bro. Fuck, I would have never remembered that unless you brought that up.
But we have him going losing his absolute shit over forgetting to pack the sandwiches.
Over sandwiches, dude.
Yeah.
He lost his shit. I was kind of upset too. I was hungry. You know what I'm saying?
We were all upset.
And
We
then
all
it
wanted
brings
sandwiches.
he brings these little tiny ass little cups, you know what I'm saying, with little tiny
Yep.
handles on them. You got to use you got to pinch them
Yes.
like you're smoking a joint.
Yes.
Really weird.
Well, when we were in Egypt, we'd go out in the outback of the desert in Egypt, and his man Friday, his Egyptian, for all practical purposes, servant, but you couldn't call him that. That'd be racist. He paid him. He carried the knapsack, and we climbed to the top of Serabit el Khadim in the Sinai, and looking at these old temples, and nobody goes out there. That was with Sheikh Barakat. And we slept in the Bedouin tent overnight, and they wined and dined us and all that. And we climbed the mountain, and we got to the top, and his man Friday is with us, and he pulls. I don't say his name anymore because there's a big falling out. Guys, it was a dick. Ended up being that way. Sorry to say.
No, he's
but after all this stuff and time together, but he pulls off the backpack and he pulls out a big carafe of coffee in a thermos thing, a huge one, and then he pulls out little teacups, china teacups and saucers. And now he threw mine in one like this, a ceramic mug.
God, she looked like Rainey. Holy shit.
She does.
Oh my God.
Doesn't she? She colored her own hair. Well, Mom helped her.
Does she ever, when she ever goes into Walmart, can she hear me?
What? She can hear you.
So when you go into Walmart, do you ever fart?
No,
Never?
yes, you do.
Dad, you're not supposed to say you fart in Walmart?
No.
Oh my God, gross.
You're blushing.
Oh.
She's blushing.
I know.
No, we don't call it farting in walnut. No, walnut.
We fart and it's disgusting.
I call it a strafing run or crop
Oh.
dust.
Oh, I go to Walmart just to fart, just so you know that. So it's not a bad thing if you fart at Walmart. But technically, I don't know if you know what you and your dad and myself are doing. But your dad and me are going to Washington, D.C. in a couple weeks because we're going up to Congress because we're trying to implement a new law that it should be. Yeah, because what we're trying to do is implement a new law that it would be illegal for women to fart in public. So yeah, you should come along and hold it in, and then you can show them what you look like when you hold it in all day.
That should be a good law.
It should be, bro. I really think we should talk about this. Women, they shouldn't fart. Period. You know what I'm saying? No, they shouldn't fart.
There's times I don't mind. Rainey's the queen. I mean, she pulls it off very well.
What?
And she farts well too. No, she farts well, and she's
cool.
got resonance.
Oh,
and soul.
Oh,
and there's sometimes I can pull off a nice fart. It's like you think you just birthed a race of
dude. I never heard anybody refer a fart to a soul.
Oh, dude, it's got soul.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Every single fart that you fart is disgusting.
No, it's not. It's
Yes,
really
it
not.
is.
Especially when.
Oh,
here's the one that really looks like Rainey. There's Rowan.
What? Dude, what?
Yep, there she is.
What? The hair's too dark. What happened to your hair?
Oh, they both colored their hair. I
Ron,
like their natural color.
Ron, me and your dad and I got to go to Washington, D.C. in a couple of weeks because we're going to present in front of Congress a new law, and we want to know if you'd support it. We're trying to make it illegal for women to fart. What do you think?
You'd be jailed so quick.
You don't fart, do you? Rowan, do you fart?
Come on, give him something.
What?
Do you fart?
No, but I burp. He
There you
yelled
go.
at me for burping down here yesterday.
It's okay. Excuse me.
Oh,
excuse
during
me.
the show, yeah.
You know what happens, bro? Shit happens, man.
What I did.
Elvis is in the building. How you doing, Elvis?
My soul. What's wrong with me?
When I get to that, I will.
Tell
And
me
so-
about the good old days.
Now get this. As you know, I'm working on the tattooing.
Yes, bro.
This one, well, they both are, but Rowan, she's only 12,
Yeah.
but she wants to start tattooing. I already showed him this.
Here.
She could be super rich.
She wants to tattoo.
Why
and
not?
I said, you keep it up. When you get 16, 17, 18 years old, you could be really good. She just did these today.
Dude, do you realize the kind of money she'd be making by the time she's 20? We could do a
Leslie,
TV
I wanted you to see that because Hummingbird.
We could do a
So,
TV show. We could do Rowan's Tattoo TV show, and I'll produce that shit.
Rowan's Tattoo Show.
I did
The
this.
I'm a 16-year-old tattoo artist.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that's Ellery's. That's the first time she touched the tattoo gun today.
That's with the tattoo gun?
Where's the one with the big buffalo on it?
On the back of
What?
that.
Oh, that was my buffalo from a couple of weeks ago when I was trying to figure out how to shade.
What?
So, but this stuff, it's coming along quickly. This guy,
damn good.
this was today, about 20 minutes, and then I filled him in after that and stuff like that. So
My whole body is full of me practicing on myself. So you guys can go ahead and use me as a canvas. So
well, I was thinking, I need to do something here, maybe down into my hand.
no, don't do your hand, dude.
Why?
Don't.
Hurts?
Don't, bro. We ain't
Does it
that
hurt?
much of a man anymore. Don't do your hand. Yes, it hurts.
Is that the only reason?
Dude, I did it to a guy who's in the Banditos, and he fucking passed out.
Oh,
You ain't got no meat,
Well-
bro. It's bouncing off the bone.
there was something Ruben Fasthorse has always told me. He said he's got that tribal sun tattoo on his hand.
I would get
But
one. on hand.
there's a story behind it about the afterlife and the old woman at the Milky Way.
Oh, the
and,
Milky Way.
Yeah, it's a thing about the souls, and she meets you at the where the Milky Way comes down and splits, and she meets you there, and it's something about weighing the soul. She asks you, "Have you lived a good life or done this?"
Oh,
And she knows
okay.
when you're lying and when you're telling the truth, and which
Ooh.
path she's going to send you on. And there was something about always needing the hand tattoo as well. So
I would try. I would do it, bro. But man, that's gonna be a painful run. Just like the calf. The calf is terrible too.
oh yeah.
I did that.
Well,
I got a spider web.
I suppose where you don't have as much meat on like your hand. I don't have a lot of meat on there.
Yeah, so the
You're getting
hand is the
veins and
bone, and
bones.
like when I did this here on the wrist, bro,
Yeah.
bouncing off that bone right there, I was crying. a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But then like on the calf and in the armpit area where you got a lot of nerves,
Yep.
that bro.
Well, I want ultimately a whole sleeve, full
Yep.
sleeve. And I wanted to do something that maybe covered the big scar on my chest and worked over
You
the
gotta
shoulder.
add on to the scar. You gotta make the scar part of the tattoo.
That's it. Now I can't do that myself. It'd be like, ow, not going to do that.
Dude, so
But-
when I come up, dude, we'll sit down and we'll do a live stream while you're drilling on me.
Let's do it.
No pressure.
Yeah,
No pressure.
no pressure
I
there.
don't give a shit. So whatever happens, happens, bro. Trust me. Did you see my body? You see what I got all over me?
Yeah, I have.
Just throw it to the mix, bro. Throw it
So
to
now
the mix.
you're up in what, 2 weeks? Did you say?
I'll probably be up probably within a week.
All right.
Yeah, I'll probably be up within a week. We'll probably be up for probably a couple months.
Right on.
So
I know it's not for the best of reasons, but it's going to be good to have you around.
well, we'll make it
And,
count. I'm an opportunist, bro. So we always find opportunity in everything.
Yes. And Rainey is going to Alaska to see her sister at the end of the month
With me.
with her.
Hey,
Taking her this time.
I
She took
forgot
Flynn
to
last
tell you.
time.
I forgot to tell you, I was sitting in my room the other night, and I opened my phone. And when I looked at my phone, there was a big old picture from this freaking guy, he goes by the name Professor. And it was a picture of his
Yeah.
little tiny balls, and he kept telling me that they were big. And I'm like, no, they're not big. I go, you're zooming in. That don't count. Okay, Bobber? You ain't got big balls, bro. You got coconuts. Sorry, I didn't know where to go with that.
I
didn't know where to
didn't
go
know where
with
to go. It was just impromptu and
the
it died,
coconuts,
but it's okay.
Hey, this came up. Coconuts are big, and it didn't work. It didn't work. It
That's
didn't work.
It did.
I'm
It did.
rusty. I am rusty.
You
But
know,
Robert-
we're
Robert-
rusty. I got to tell you, I love doing my show, and I love talking the stuff I talk about. Sometimes some of my shows are dogs. You're done, and you go, "That was a dog."
What do you
And then you wanna
expect? You
save
do it
that.
every freaking night.
But then there's another night, and I don't do it every night now. I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I do Tuesday with Wendy Robertson,
Yep,
and then I
yep.
do Sunday morning. And
Does she fart?
what?
Does she fart?
Wendy?
Yeah.
I'm sure she.
I bet you she don't.
I'm not going to give away any secrets without her here.
She rips ass. Damn it.
It's What time is it there? It's like 4 a.m. there. So
Yeah, just call her up and wake her up and be like, "Hey, Wendy, just
Yeah.
a quick question. I just want to know.
Hey,
you
Wendy.
fart?
Don't move.
and so
Do you poop?
do I poop?
No, Wendy. I don't think she poops either.
I don't think she does. Anyway, I do this show by myself, and there's times I've even said it to the audience, all you guys out there still listening. There's times where I do the show and I'm like, it'd be so fun to be bouncing things off of other people.
Yeah.
Having a sidekick, having a or a co-host or somebody to constantly.
So those people don't even realize. I always tell people, I'm like, just go hit a record button and talk for an hour. Just do it one time. Just
Talk
one
for
time.
an hour.
Just talk for an hour and make it deliverable content.
And make it as entertaining as you can.
Yep. Every night, do that for a week.
And
then get back to me.
Be real. Oh, wait. Who's walking away? Sarah Youssef. Sarah, why are you walking away?
Sarah, where are you going?
Why don't you call in?
Damn it, Sarah.
Sarah is our main woman in the Intrepid Radio chat room. She calls in almost every night. And
Scotty, you got
now she's
power.
walking away. I don't know why she's walking away.
Talking. Damn it, Sarah. What did you say, Scotty?
I don't know.
You said something. It wasn't me because I don't say offensive shit.
I don't know. It might have been you.
Damn it.
I did the Moana heart.
What?
There you go.
All right, Cannoli, I got to rip, brother. I got an early morning.
I am sorry you got to go. I wish you could stay for the whole rest of the hour.
I might actually be available tomorrow night.
That'd be fantastic. If you're available. And you know what? When you're up here, we could do this a little more often.
We could because
depending on what you got going with your own show.
Yeah, well, no, I don't have a lot. If I am going to go to the Mayo Clinic, so I'm basically. What up, Miss Maya?
How you doing, Maya?
I'm basically just going to just be going to the Mayo Clinic and doctor appointments. That's it. I can't work, so
yes.
I will have plenty of time, brother. Plenty of time. So
yes,
and then you can put a tattoo on my balls, bro.
Yeah, you know, I don't know that I'd be comfortable with that. Would be like, you know,
a paying customer is a paying customer. They go where it goes.
I think if somebody ever wanted me to tattoo their testicles, I would probably charge a hell of a lot of money.
What about the lip?
And if they still come back and go, yeah, man, that's good. That's good. You know, okay, $7,000. I meant $7,000.
Don the Con is available tomorrow night. He said Don the Con's going to come.
Don the Con's available tomorrow night. All right, we'll see if we can get him in.
What about because like a lot of women?
Oh wait, tomorrow night I don't do radio tomorrow night.
Well, let's do an impromptu.
On Friday, I get to talk.
We
about
could.
something.
Okay, if you are available, let's go live at 9:00. Irregardless,
right.
Let's go hot at 9:00 because I don't know if I can do it any other night.
Okay. Tomorrow night's your only night. We'll maybe see what we can do. Make it happen.
I'll
talk to you tomorrow.
On Friday, I get to talk about something.
Like what?
This is what my kids do. What are you going to talk about on Friday?
Disney.
Disney?
Yeah.
You're out of the picture. Why don't you just step in a little bit?
Yeah, but there's some things about Disney that I'm concerned about. Okay.
Me too. I did a show on it. Why is Disney? Why'd they lose $2 billion last year?
Yeah. Why are all the people that work there getting arrested for bad stuff?
Yeah, bad stuff.
People are weirdos.
Yes, they are. Thank you. They are.
People are weirdos.
That's the truth coming from my 9-year-old.
That's
so. Especially people in our
town. Totally in your town. That is.
Maya's trying to get Jeremy to come back to Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, he's going.
That would be nice.
He's going.
Nice to have you guys close too. So, well, I don't want to stop talking because I don't want to let you go.
I want to sing that song, Grandpa. Tell me about the good old days.
Yeah, oh yeah. I know that song.
Damn it.
So,
yeah.
Keep talking.
But you know the thing is, those the effing winters, man. The effing winters.
That's the problem. Well, we had a really nice winter this last year.
It didn't snow.
Because it didn't snow at all the whole winter until March.
And that's not good for Minnesota or Wisconsin.
No, but we had enough rain that they were saying in late March, they were saying there's no drought problem. because we had so much rain during November and December, and even into January, we were having rain.
That's what we need to talk about is the cloud seeding or the
Yes.
chemtrails. Let's talk about that. Dude, I hope you can come on tomorrow night.
We'll do it. If tomorrow night is it, I'll do it.
Don't get in trouble.
I'll just tell my wife. I'll just tell her.
And record it. Record it while you do that.
Oh, you want me to record that?
Say it.
Don't touch my touch my stuff. What comment do you want to respond to?
That one. The Disney.
This one right here?
Yeah.
Chuck Thurston.
Abby and Bryn said that I can go to either stop touching my butt.
Okay.
He was touching my butt.
Okay. I'm gonna kick you out. I'm trying to do something here.
I'm trying to talk. So
Where's Audrey?
they
Stop, Ro.
I'm not touching her. It was literally my knee. Abby and Bryn said that I can either go to a Hawaii.
Stop and let her get her thing out.
Hawaiian.
Let her get it out.
To a Hawaiian restaurant. I mean, resort called the Polynesian.
An Indian restaurant.
No,
What?
it's Hawaiian restaurant.
Restaurant was mine.
Hey, he's growing white hair while you're talking. Get your
I
point.
think I know which one you're talking about, though. The Polynesian place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At Disney, where you take boats instead of buses because the buses take forever. And
Yes.
or I can take the resort, or we can do the resort with the gondolas without all of these poopy butts.
The gondolas. The
I poked my
gondola
eye.
you go do in Italian. Oh,
I'll do it. Let's go.
I can't
We're
sing in
going.
Italian.
I want to go. I want to go.
Hey, Louis Boyce. Good to see you.
Luis.
All right, you two stifle, quiet.
Oh,
All right.
damn.
So I'm the boss.
Dude, I noticed that, bro. That was like, dude, they just shut
Mom?
down. Damn.
Mom's
Mom's sleeping. Leave her alone.
Mom's already sleeping.
Mom has to
So
wake up.
All right, cannoli tomorrow
Okay,
night,
guys.
brother.
Quiet. Quiet.
She
Or
are
leave.
being quiet.
Quiet. Oh, you are?
Yeah, we're being quiet.
Wow. That was camouflaged as noise.
Yeah, I
Very
can
well.
tell. Yeah, well, yeah. See, it was a distraction. It was projection. It worked
That's
extremely
right.
well.
That's right.
Brother, I love you, man. Get a hold of
I
me
love
tomorrow,
you too, brother.
and then let me know if we're golden for tomorrow night.
Let's. I'm good for tomorrow night. I will just tell
Bauer.
Rainey I got to do tomorrow night.
Bauer, you heard it. All right, 9:00 tomorrow night. Let's rock and roll. Tomorrow
Sounds
night,
good,
9
brother.
o'clock, everybody, be here. Okay, I love you.
Be here or don't.
No, that ain't how you say it, bro.
I knew there was something missing.
I know. Okay, first it's rule
So
number
made
one.
like a tree and get out of here.
It's don't take shit from nobody. Okay, no.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And then how did it go? Be here or be nowhere.
I don't take shit from nobody. Be here or be nowhere.
Yeah, you always made fun of how
or-
it said it because you always said the wrong English. Because I always say my English wrong.
Yeah, deliberately, of
Yep.
course. We're giving away our secrets
maybe.
by saying that.
We did. Damn it. Well, yeah, I think if people can figure out that I really know that Trek Wars is really Star Wars. I've been saying Trek Wars for 4 effing years, bro, and Audrey still gets mad at me for that shit.
Go grab my green sweater. Hang it in there. I get you when we do radio. I was
Yeah.
going to put this on for you tonight,
What?
and I did not.
Oh,
But then I thought, but this would fit Rocky,
yeah.
but
What is
probably
it?
not. It was a gift from.
Oh.
Where'd you go? Oh, there you are. Here you go. Here you go. Your favorite.
Oh, yeah, dude. Wow.
The
Dude, that's what you wear before you go in the phone booth and travel.
That's right. That's right. So the Kirk
It's green?
command sweater.
I thought it was gold.
It's wraparound.
Oh,
it was always green.
wraparound.
This is the wraparound one. See?
Oh, dude, why didn't you say that in the first
See,
place?
it's got the little
Oh,
strap that goes all the way around.
dude,
It's built,
that's so cute.
connected with the insignia down at the bottom.
Whoa.
So yeah, dude.
I farted.
It's my kids are here just to bring up the quality of my show.
Dude,
Here, go
that
hang
was,
that up
like
for me, will you?
that was like an EVP. It was like, what? It was. She said she farted. What if a ghost
Yeah.
really said that? You're at a
Carly
store.
Sagan, the
Carly
face better
Sagan.
come back tomorrow. Yeah. And you know, something I always used to say during the show when we come in was, hey, everybody, shut up. Rocky is in the room.
You know, how you doing?
So, how you doing?
You know.
Yeah.
Strangers in the night, bitches.
That's right.
All right, I'm out. Love you
Namaste,
guys.
bitches.
Namaste. Ladies and gentlemen, from my family to yours, much love, much respect, and of course, don't forget rule number one. Rule number one, Scotty, what's rule number one?
Rule number one, don't take shit from nobody.
Don't worry about it. Love you, brother.
Don't worry about it. Rocky, good to have you here tonight, brother. I love you.
Love you
I'll
too.
see you tomorrow night.
All right, buddy.
All right. There he was, folks. Rocky Stucci. And for those of you who have been here and do not know the history I have with this man, we've hit on it a few times tonight, but we did radio together for a long time. And apparently he's coming back up here to the city and here in Wisconsin. And he is a sweetheart. I am doing so. You are being disruptive. Snap. Snow. Oh, I'm going to mess up your hair. Anyway, she wanted me. So she just wrote that on my arm.
It says I heart hot moms.
I heart hot moms. I heart hot moms. All right. So, see you. Bye. So familial interruptions. It's what this show's all about, but not during the really hot and heavy segments. But there you go. This needs to become a regular thing, said Carly Sagan. Carly, I'm a believer in that. I think it should become a regular thing again. I'd love to see that happen, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. And maybe I'm too permissive of my children, that they come on here and do their thing, but I'm a little too freewheeling with them. We'll see. What do you think? It would be nice to make Wisconsin a powerhouse of radio personalities. Yes, it would, Jeremy Hansen. A powerhouse indeed. You guys thinking of moving back up here? I know Maya said something about it just a few minutes ago. So, yeah, that would be very cool. And I'm in western Wisconsin. Well, so is Rocky. He's Hudson. I'm Somerset. You should come. I know you were a little more east of us by a few hours. So, good night, Elderberry. Taking off. Good to see you. Glad to have you here. We'll go for a little bit more. We might not go too long. It's 10:30 already. We generally go to 11 with the captain's cabin. My lighting is really weird tonight. I look really pink, and I don't know what it is. It would not adjust for me tonight. I was either way washed out or really yellow. See, this is how it started tonight, like this. Hey, folks, I'm not a Robert. You can't really see me, and you might not be able to understand me very well. But then you hit it, and yeah. So it's the built-in camera is the problem, and I've got all these different lights set up. Not my studio lights that Uncle Dave gave me. I still have not yet mounted those babies. I'm gonna one of these days. The big old theater lights, the cans. He gave me a bunch of old ones, and so I've still got to mount those. Jeremy Hansen says taxes suck, and Missouri is now 8% higher than the U.S. average. That's crazy. Our gas went up 40 cents a gallon this week. 40 cents a gallon in the last 3 days. So what do you think of them apples? And I was telling my son, along with telling him about taxes, you know how much of that is tax? Back when gas was $1.89, 42 cents a gallon was taxes. Now that it's more than double that, do you think the taxes are still 42 cents? Nope. I guarantee you they are not. Roger Rabbit says, I'm sorry to hear that, Jeremy. We know that struggle as well. I hope you can find a good doctor or somewhere, somehow. Oh, see, now I missed the doctor thing. Doctors are not doing well for our daughter. You need to come and get up closer to the Mayo. Maya hates taxes on food. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Food is a staple of life. JP is here. St. Louis, Missouri is still 12 ton, 17%. 12 ton, 17% lower than the cost of living in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Lower than 12 to 17%. There you go. That's what that was. 12 to 17% lower. Praying for the best, says Maya. Now let's keep doing that. So Field Guy is here. Let's bring him in. How you doing, Field Guy?
Good.
Good.
Mostly. Oh, turn my camera on. There we go.
There
I had to set it up. I had to set the thingamajig up. So, yes.
So, Rocky and I were going to actually talk a little politics tonight, and we didn't get to it. We had all kinds of other more important stuff to talk about. So, we got more things to talk about. Tomorrow will be an interesting show. I don't do a show on Thursdays, but we're going to do one anyway. So, we'll see. I don't know if Rocky's going to spearhead that or if I'm going to overhear. We'll see how that works out.
Now I'm in a conundrum because I was going to do my stream tomorrow, but I might not. I might just... But I won't even get home at 10 o'clock anyway.
Yeah. Well, if we start at 9, we'll be going till at least 11.
Oh, so. Yeah, by the time I get home, it probably won't be till 10 o'clock. But
you can still come in late.
Yeah.
We're okay with that.
July 4th.
Come in late, yeah.
Independence. I think Miss Carly should wear the American flag bikini.
Miss Carly, I'm all with the Field Guy on that.
And if Steph has his too, Steph can also.
Upright.
I'm trying to fight for an all Wicked Women bikini edition.
And stalwart position, I would say. So I'm all about that. Yes, Rocky is coming back. Bring back the Situation Room. Have Jeremy Hansen in that mix, and boom. Yeah, Lewis boys. He's not moving home permanently. He's coming up for a couple of months. He's got a... Oh, what does that say? I shall. Got one on now. Call in, Carly.
I can't see it.
Here. There's the call-in number. You know how it goes. You got to call in if you got your red, white, and blue bikini
See,
on.
Now you have to appease Scotty.
See? Yeah, it's for me.
That's the TMI, Roger. I don't need to see that. That's for the wife. That's for Miss Carly to see.
Oh, sure. So not for Roger?
He says
I'll be prancing through the stream in my American flag banana hammock. There you go. I got an American Eagle pair of boxers that Rainey got me a few years ago. So, she's laughing at it.
Here's an American flag here, sort of.
There it is.
Super Bowl 26, 2002.
Well, I can put on my Spock socks. I have Spock socks. We're on our way to the airport to pick up fresh seafood for my food truck. Right on. I didn't know you had a food truck, Maya. What have I been missing? That's fantastic. Rainey, when she went to Alaska, came home with 85 pounds of salmon 2 years ago. Then we lost 78 pounds of it when the freezer got left unplugged. Last summer, I think it was. Yeah. And so she's going to go replenish that. She stands in the river and catches it. So she goes.
Yeah, they jump out. They spawn and just go
ships it home.
Catch it.
Here's JP is with us. Jason, how you doing, brother?
I am doing all right.
Well, outstanding.
Just figured I would bring some class into this chat room.
Yeah,
looking at you.
We lost all the class earlier.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what happens around here some nights. It's like,
yeah.
What? So, light.
Well, how's everybody
Good. I'm missing yellow.
Mostly
I'm
good.
missing. I look
In your
pink.
cameras?
I look pink. Yeah. Look at this. I did a new setting that's supposed to be.
I don't
which
see
They
yellow.
must
I
have
see
changed
white.
this in StreamYard, because now you can in StreamYard you can adjust the level of your clarity pixels,
Right.
and all. So I did that tonight. I bumped it to the highest setting. Oh, do you want to do this too? Yeah, do it.
I don't
Yeah,
fool with
filter that out. Yeah, and
Can
now,
you go in and change either your saturation or your hue?
no, you still can't
Mm-mm.
do that in here.
They're
And
still
the camera
working on
that's
that.
built into my Mac doesn't have anything to adjust the software.
Some of it may also be the wavelength of your lighting in there.
It is. There's something up, because when I was doing the Turo, when I first started, I had the one lamp that had the Wise light bulb in it. There was a Bluetooth light bulb, and on my phone I could set all the colors and whatever, and it would just, when you're watching the video, the whole back corner here it would flash white, blue, white.
I remember
but
that.
The bulb never changed.
Yeah.
But the camera picked it up as flashing, which is weird.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna stand up and just go right here, because I want to.
People make mistakes, Chucks. Sorry, I meant 36, not 26.
I gotta change this.
Blame it on YouTube.
Yeah, it's YouTube's fault.
YouTube's fault.
It is.
There we go. There's
regular
lights.
They pulled a Professor Bow on me today.
The footstool just fell off of my desk chair.
He went on about the Ethereum and the Materium.
Not yet.
Oh,
No, he's not here yet.
No.
No, I'm just saying they took one of my videos down for bullshit from like 3 years ago. From 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
that's what they do.
I'm just like,
That is.
okay. Yeah.
And just to my comment earlier regarding the taxes, I live in St. Louis, so that's why I said that. And I moved here from Grand Forks, and part of the decision-making process and examining everything was looking at cost of living. And while tax may be at 8%, cost of living in St. Louis itself, 12 to 17% lower than living in Grand Forks, middle of effing nowhere, North Dakota.
Is that because of what is it in St. Louis that it's lower? Is it a lower standard of living there?
No, it's not a lower standard of living. That's for sure. It's
more
food. Cost of food is lower. I think cost of fuel is lower. I can tell you that my utilities have been lower than they were in Grand Forks, and things like that. So it's in different areas. So while, yes, as much as it sucks, and also, side note, as much as it sucks that, hey guys, we went to war over a 4% tax on tea, there are other things going on where it may be lower. So things kind of even out. So Missouri is still stupidly low cost of living compared to a lot of other places in the States. And as a person who grew up in the DC metro area, I can tell you right here and now, man, like in St. Louis, it is way cheaper than DC.
Point of clarity, by the way. I did say that the 4% tax was in part what
right.
was 4% tax.
It's in part.
Yes.
The go to war over a 4% tax increase is just easier to say and rolls off the tongue.
Right. I still have to adjust this one. I see Travis Thorpe is out there in the chat room.
Missouri is a lot of my cousins moved to Missouri because it's low taxes, but it's kind of a trade-off too. Everything may be low, but I've never been in that state, so.
Well, Missouri's, people like to sit here and call it misery.
Right.
Let me tell you, as someone who actually does kind of enjoy going out in the outdoors and being able to do things year round, likes to ride motorcycle, things like that. Missouri is not misery. North Dakota is, because it's so flat. You can watch your dog run away into next Tuesday. All right. So it's, and it's the ice planet Hoth for 6 months out of the year.
See him out there.
Free ice cream, I'll take it.
They got free ice cream in St. Louis or Missouri.
It has, but there's plenty of states that have dealt with that.
She wouldn't live in St. Louis. She wouldn't live in North Dakota.
Who wouldn't?
So,
those states up there, North Dakota, Wyoming, nobody really wants to live out there unless they want to get away from everybody and everything, or they have to.
Right.
Or they're born there. I mean, it's look, okay. I'm being a little harsh on North Dakota. North Dakota ain't a bad state. I can say that there are definitely political issues and taxation issues and other issues in Grand Forks for sure.
That's your call-in link, Travis.
Especially considering that the largest city in the state, Fargo, had a lower cost of living than Grand Forks. And like the housing shortage, ridiculous housing costs, which it served me well when I sold my house and moved here to St. Louis. It doesn't mean that it didn't bother me at the fact that, houses that should have been in the, 190 to lower range are now well into the 250s and 260s and things like that. It impacts people's ability to actually own property, own a home, build equity. As much as I dislike taxes, become part of the tax base overall, which then would lower everyone else's taxes because you have that burden spread across more people. They're all forced to,
I gotta tell you,
get expensive apartments and things like that. And the people who own the apartment complexes get tax breaks for owning, I
gotta tell you,
an apartment.
Jason, complex. I love you, brother. I love everything you talk about. I'm just sitting here, and it just struck me as I was listening to you talk. You sound like one of those tax and finance shows that go on talk radio on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Because they don't do political talk on it. It's like, and if you take your 401k and you fold it over into 17% of the
I tell you what,
on the market, and here in Missouri, it's
if a lot more people paid attention to shows like Dave Ramsey, for instance.
I listen to him all the time.
There would probably be a higher instance of people being in a less financially burdened sense, which would be overall better for the country in general. So really more people probably need to tune into those finance shows on the weekend that come on just to learn something and get perspective.
There was a guy that was doing financial talk on radio, and God, it was 30 years ago, so he's probably not around anymore. But he had the voice, and he would talk he had a kind of a George Norrie sound, but he'd always call everybody Tiger. And he'd go, "Hey, Tiger, how you doing?" "Yeah, no, that's a bad idea, Tiger. You need to fix that. You need to plug that hole up right away."
Yeah.
"Oh, you make your kid buy his own college. He makes him appreciate his own college." It's the first place I heard that was from.
Yeah.
No idea what you're talking about, but probably look it up.
Yeah. We need fiscally conservative politicians. I agree with you.
We need fiscally conservative citizens is also.
Well, on top of that,
I mean, look at how we spend. Look at how we don't save in terms of just as a population. Look at how much credit we utilize. Things like that. We need to be smarter in general. And then hopefully that would trickle up to politics because we'd be voting in people who have been thinking in a fiscally smart manner. But, is what it is.
By the way,
they
Sam,
get corrupted.
Sam just sent me a infographic, a meme. And
Yeah.
it's got Mel Gibson from The Patriot,
Right.
close up of him, and he's doesn't show anything else, but it says when your dad catches you shooting bottle rockets at an IRS agent,
Right.
and underneath Mel Gibson it says aim small, miss
Small.
I've seen that one before.
Yeah, that's
Sam
good.
sent that to me.
That's
So
pretty good. That's pretty good. Has anybody else been enjoying the plethora of memes and
oh my God,
meme videos that have come out after the initial
After the
debate?
Supreme Court decision, yeah.
No, the debate.
Oh, the debate. I've seen plenty of those too.
Yeah, it's
And I've listened.
not to get too
Oh,
political, but it's it's been kind of
political,
comedy
man.
gold.
You can tell, right? The part where he shits his pants when he looks up, you can kind of tell that moment.
Well, you
It's like,
wonder.
uh-oh.
Well, and then everybody's like, when he gave his fiery speech the next day, it's like, where
Yeah.
was this dude last night?
Where were you last night? I had a bad day. Everybody has a bad day. I admit it.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
couldn't hear.
a liar. No,
And-
at least I tell the truth.
Jill Biden put out the whole. I guess she's going to be was on Vanity Fair, cover of Vanity Fair or something, one of those magazines, and in the interview or in a statement, she was like, "We're not going to let those 90 minutes, define his entire presidency."
Well,
And-
it does, sadly.
Yeah. Did you see the footage of him walking off stage following?
Yes. I
Yeah.
did.
There
Should've
was a
helped
lot
him
of
down the 6-inch step.
right. And did anybody else see the video of him weirdly touching a dude's arm as he was shaking his hand?
I don't know
Yeah.
if I saw
Oh,
that.
good God.
That's a
That
3-hour
was
monologue starts
Awkward.
I
Hey,
don't know if I saw that.
yeah, I'll try to find it. I know I sent it to a buddy of mine, being like, "What the hell?"
I saw that
and
video.
sent it
That
to you
was
because it was on Instagram. It was like, the hell just happened? And both the guys were like, "This is weird."
I didn't see that. I will say that I think that 90 minutes did define his presidency, only because it defined the decline of his presidency.
Yeah.
And it was illustrative of his presidency. And so, yeah, it's going to be an interesting race. Now, I heard something more today from a source that said a source close to the White House or in the White House has said there's a lot of heavy duty talk about him dropping out of the race.
Yeah.
And but he is announcing, well, my family and I'm going to stay in the race, and Joe Biden says he's staying in, and all of this, and etc. Professor, what do you think he's going to do?
I have a speculation that the Schrodinger's candidate is afoot.
I think you're right. Who do you think that's going to be?
Well,
Schrodinger's candidate.
What I mean by that is,
He's
there's
either alive or dead.
Yes.
well, it's the way out for and just to tag on to your point about the defining moment of his presidency.
Yeah.
This is actually a defining moment for the Democratic Party, which is the real substantive issue, I think, is afoot. And the Schrodinger's candidate is basically the following hypothesis. In order to get Joe out, there's way too many hurdles from not only
he would have to voluntarily drop out.
Right. He'll have to voluntarily do that, but he apparently is saying that's not in my cards, and apparently the babysitter.
Well, he thinks he's just fine.
Well, apparently the babysitter doesn't want him to. So the key, I think, is that nobody wants camel toe, but they also don't want Biden, but they don't have any way to get him out unless he voluntarily does that. If he voluntarily does that, they still have the issue of the only place the war chest can go is to the vice president. Okay.
We were just talking about that. So
I mean, unless they all pull their heads out of their fourth point of contact and they, decide to go with RFK.
Well, and that I think
that
is
would be
just
interesting.
That I think that's just way outside of the current opportunities or the mix that they're trying to sort out.
Because frankly, I think they wouldn't be happy with him if they ran him because he would probably can them all.
Well, the problem is that the DEI hire in Camel Toe, which is all that is, there's all kinds of issues about. She's not actually a natural born citizen. Her parents are not black. They are Indian. The father's from Jamaica. The mother's from India. Yep. She can't legally be the president. So that's a whole nother issue. But
she wasn't born in the States?
No. She was raised in Canada and then became a naturalized, which is different from natural born. There's two different
San Soli and San
in the Constitution. But what I mean by Schrodinger's cat is this: there's all kinds of big, a whole bunch of consternation going on about, well, if you don't go with Camel Toe, then you're dissing the first black woman, which she's not black. But it's kind of like the same bullshit with Bumble. Where was his actual heritage from and all that. And he was only half black. He's the other half of him's Asian. So the issue is this: Camel Toe, if they don't go with her, the black female vote is gonna bail.
See. And the whole thing about that is we've got to have the diversity ticket.
Well, that's why she's a DEI hire. There's nothing about her that inspires anybody.
No.
The problem now is the ideological issues that the left has adopted and decided that, well, you can't replace Kamala with a white dude. That's just going to piss all the left off, or all those in the left that are a bunch of noisemakers. But at the end of the day, what's really happening is they're going to go, well, if Joe stays in, the way they're going to position it is if you don't like Kamala and you vote for Joe, but you want Kamala and you are saying, well, she's got to be the default choice, then what you have is, regardless whether you vote for Joe or not, you're still voting for Kamala. Because there's no rational thinking individual that thinks 6 months after the election that Joe is going to be anywhere around.
So either way, she becomes president.
That's why it's a Schrodinger's candidate. You don't know if the cat or the candidate's alive.
She is both dead and alive. But the event to make either of those take place just hasn't happened yet. Just watch. So
that makes that brings up an interesting question. If she's a naturalized citizen and not a blood or soil born, then if something happens to Biden, can she even legally be president?
Well, that's my other point everybody's afraid to go there because that's going to tip off.
But you know what will happen, Professor? And by the way, welcome to Travis. The professor was so monopolizing the time, I couldn't say welcome.
Hey, Travis.
It's a joke.
As he does.
Somebody's got to do it. Isn't this about intelligent talk?
Right.
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained?
Is this not the best way that you are subjugated and ruled over?
Yes.
This is not your natural state.
I am Maximus Decimus.
We're watching Scotty's brain break down in real time right now.
I forgot what I was going to talk about.
That's our job.
This is the cabin after all. This isn't the regular portion.
It was about the presidency. It was about her and them electing him, putting her in place. him being killed off. Something.
If she was not allowed to because of some red tape that was within the writing, then it would fall down to the Speaker of the House. The Speaker of the House would be the third in line, and that would be the person that would ascend to the throne.
Right.
And what's
by the way,
interesting about
Roger
that,
Rabbit,
Travis,
you just jogged my memory by using the word legal about being about as definable as a woman. You know what's going to happen. It's what happens with everything with this administration and this batch of rageful, angry left that we have in this country right now. The big divisiveness that's going on is you're going to see, just like with everything else, the Supreme Court comes down with their Roe v. Wade decision. Oh, let's do away with the Supreme Court, and we've got to impeach some of them. Oh, this is horrible. We've taken away a woman's right over her body, blah, blah, fucking blah, blah, blah. Then you've got the whole thing now with the immunity thing. And I'm looking at some of the people that are talking about the immunity thing on social media, and I'm like, do you fuckers really have any idea what you're talking about? And pardon my French, Rocky already ruined my monetization for the show, so swear away, guys. I look at that, what actually happened with the Supreme Court, and say, if you think this is bad, they took the middle of the road path on this. And there's basically 3 points they came out. They came out with the, what he is immune, what any president should have immunity for, official immunity. They have the conditional immunity, or whatever they called it, not provisional, not conditional, that immunity that is not necessarily official acts, and he could still get into trouble, but you'd have to go the extra mile to prove the evidence. And then, of course, the third is acts done outside. He's totally
well, it's official versus
totally vulnerable to that.
The two delineations were official versus personal.
Official versus personal, but it's really three. It's personal, it's official, it's non-official, yet still falls under the purview of the presidency, and then there's the unofficial.
Well, the one of the interesting scenarios, and I got to tell you, playing whack-a-mole with all of the weekend analysts that are out there trying to figure out what the fuck is going on is just absolutely hilarious. And I got to say, it's one of the most enjoyable, entertaining periods of politics I've ever seen.
It's crazy.
But one of the interesting other possibilities is, let's say, because it's clear that, I mean, Joe doesn't have much time left in his carbon-based meat suit.
No, he doesn't.
Let's say that, for example, something medically happens to him, that he becomes, let's say he doesn't die, but he becomes incapacitated. He's intubated. He is plugged up into machines, right, between now and election. Well, what will happen? Harris will immediately become the president, and the way the Constitution is set up is the Speaker of the House becomes the vice president.
Right.
So all of a sudden,
or there's another option. There's another option here. It goes the route of Wilson.
Well, that's because of his wife.
And what does Jill do?
Yep.
She's a nurse, or she's the babysitter, right?
I was just going to suggest the same thing.
Exactly. You see the Woodrow Wilson option of Jill basically writing all of Joe's stuff while he's in the bedroom convalescing, and says, "Oh, here he said this. He said this."
Well, I don't think anybody as much of a potential as that is. I don't think that anybody's going to buy that bullshit.
That wants the power.
Our country, the Constitution requires that there's an executive and a vice executive.
Yep.
Right.
So if he is incapacitated, the Speaker becomes the vice president, and then Grassley becomes the Speaker of the House. And then all of a sudden the succession, if Harris Biden, I'm calling him BYE-DONE, is really what is going on with him.
Mike
he
Johnson
doesn't win. They don't win. Well, that transition from Mike Johnson is the speaker, right? Is
Mike
that the right guy? Yeah. So he becomes the interim VP for some period of time until the inauguration, right? And if nobody's going to buy Harris at all, except for a bunch of mentally ill, female-based, ideologically soaked and brain-stained left.
Do you think that Kamala Harris believes that she would be a good president?
No, I really don't think she does. I think there might be people telling her that. Yeah. But I mean, is there anybody that has seen or watched any of the content that flows from her pie hole think that she is even any better than Biden? I mean, she doesn't. She may not stumble and stammer, but she hee-haws her way through just about everything. And you go, well, there isn't really any there. And that's
I wanted to fight you on that because she ran for president, but then at the same time, I was like, no, but she withdrew because she knew she sucked, right?
Well, and the thing, and the reason.
Hold on, wait. How did she even run if she couldn't technically legally be president?
Well, this is one of the nasty underbelly of the reality of truth and facts, sans emotions, that's going on right now. One of the biggest things, in my opinion, that happened as a result of the ginormous flop on the debate was not only exposing the fact that for 4 or 5 years, people on the other side of the ideological spectrum have been calling out Biden as just being, this guy's not there. Well, they've all been proven right. And it was proven right in one 90-minute presentation. The other thing that is rippling through all of the empty craniums on the left is the fact that their media has been lying to them as well.
Well, that's it.
That media has been the one propping up and deflecting and parrying off all of this stuff about, Sloppy Joe is good. It's like, no. We've been telling you since before the election in 2020, which you guys stole, which it was a fraudulent election. There is no doubt about that. There isn't 81 million people in the country then or now that was behind this cadaver of a candidate. So what you have is the great reveal. You're having, when I called in one of my last shows back in 2019.
Finally he tells us what the great reveal is.
Well, this is a part of it. What we're finding is
holding your breath there, Jason.
All these people that have been hiding the Biden disaster have been exposed as lying to all of their audience and to their constituents. So now there's a giant and I think some of it's subconscious. There's starting to get some consciousness. You're seeing people like Bill Maher calling them out. You got James Carville, who's another cadaver, calling out saying, hey, all of their political leaders, pundits, and poop heads have been finally coming out saying, hey, how can anybody deny any longer that this is not something that we were told? And the media is now being called out. The first thing that the administration did is they went and blamed the staff, right? And then they went and tried to go after CNN, which I got to say, as shitty as CNN has been, they've been over the last 6 months, they've been kind of playing it down the middle.
They've been doing a little turn.
And I think they finally got somebody went in and smacked them upside the head. But now you're seeing
it's probably the drop in viewership.
That might have something to do with it.
The money part. It's the money part.
But so you had the weekend where the family got together supposedly and talked about what's the future and what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. What answer did they come up with? 1, Joe's not going anywhere. And 2, guess what? We're going to get in a special advisor, and his name's Hunter. So Hunter is now sitting in all of the meetings.
He is.
He is now. Remember, Joe said,
of course, Jean-Pierre Kareem Jean-Pierre.
There's another neat guy I know.
Jean-Pierre said,
Well, you know,
he's just a member of the family. Of course he's going to be there.
With
Where's he been for the last 3.5 years?
With Hunter in all of the meetings, you know, Joe can keep an eye on him as well as the rest of the staff, so that he's not rocking around naked with a handgun and a hooker in front of his webcam.
Yeah,
I'm just interested on how that works with OPM
has me
and his
convinced
clearances then with his felony.
Something that has me almost convinced that
Good one,
Kamala
Travis.
Harris has her shit together is this quote from her.
Oh boy.
So I think it's very important, as you have heard from so many incredible leaders, for us at every moment in time, and certainly this one, to see the moment in time in which we exist in our present and to be able to contextualize it, to understand where we exist in the history and in the moment as it relates not only to the past, but the future. Today is today, and yesterday was today, yesterday. Tomorrow will be today, tomorrow. So live today.
We're at now. When does this happen in the movie? This happens now.
Wait. Kevin Kline line from.
Well, when did that happen? Just then. Well, why can't we go back? We can't. Why? We just missed it. When will then be now? Soon.
But if you wait,
don't forget how much
yesterday.
Don't forget how much she loves the yellow buses, right?
That's right.
And
yellow
I think
buses? I haven't heard this one. Oh boy.
Was she this way when she was in office in California?
She went on about that shit.
Always this way?
I love the yellow buses.
Well, remember, going back to the point about her not her being in the race, in the original primaries, and what happened. She left because she had no traction. She got like 3 or 4% of people that were saying, "Yeah, let's go do some camel toe action." So she dropped out because she didn't have support.
She had less than 2%.
Yeah, it was some ridiculous like 2-finger scotch. Nope, ain't gonna work.
You asked the question on whether or not she's always been this bad, and I'm going to go ahead and say no. I think she's being coached to be this bad, and here's the reason why.
You think so?
This is interesting.
I have a theory that since JFK, we have changed our selection of vice presidents. They are no longer the best suited to be executive in case of an emergency. They are an insurance policy against assassination. If you pick your VP, the second in command, to be the worst possible fucking replacement,
I like this.
Assassinate you.
A working theory.
That person will come up. I mean, look at Mike Pence, right? When Trump was in office, Mike Pence was the boogeyman to the left. They were like, "Oh my God, he's going to make everybody Christian and ban abortion murder," right? And they're like, "We can't fucking have Mr. No Murder Babies," right? And so they were like,
"Mr. No Murder Babies."
And because of that, Orange Man Bad was safe from assassination because they had Mr. No Murder Baby.
I always wondered why Trump picked Pence. Or why? Who's the guy that they're saying is kind of rising to the top of his short list right now? The governor of what's
Bergman.
Bergman.
Oh, Bergman. North Dakota.
I listened to an interview with him out on his ranch, and he sounds good, but I'm like, he's got Rubio, he's got
JD Vance,
he's got a whole A list of people.
If he doesn't
name, but
I have some issues with Bergman.
So now your theory makes sense, Reverend.
I have some big issues with Bergman that stem from when we were fighting Fufeng back in Grand Forks, the business that was trying to the Chinese run business that was trying to set up in the air base's backyard. Because one, there was no vetting. Two, he kept very, how do I put this? I don't want to say politically neutral because that doesn't sound right. But he was very.
He didn't want to get his nose in it.
Right. And when this all blew up and things went before CFIUS, initially, the only statement that he put out was that, hey, this is going to the process, and hopefully everything is handled correctly. And then when Burgum decided to start making his bid for nomination to run for president, he was all hard against the Chinese and basically what China's been doing. And for viewers out there, etc., when I say the Chinese, I refer to the CCP, the PLA, and all of the PLA's subsidiary branches of military, not the Chinese people. Government's different than the people. But then he comes all out hard against it. And it's like, with how deep he had his fingers in tech before running for governor and things like that, it's like you had to have known. How could you not know? And then how could you just sit there and take a non-stance other than, I hope everything gets resolved how it should be? Like that.
Well, I don't think he's got he's not in the running from my perspective, and that's just my opinion.
He probably
they were making him almost as being at the top of the short list right now.
No, he doesn't seem to fit the persona and the model of Trump. Trump is in a very unique position, and I agree with your point for the most part, Travis. But I also think that this is a whole new ball game that's about to come up. This is the first time that an ex-president has run for a second term after not being in his second term. This is also there's nobody else that I know of. I've looked at it. And here's one of the other things that again I'm going to add a little bit more sauce onto your theory there, Travis. I think that what we're seeing is the CIA is actually the one who picks the presidents and their VPs. And if you go back and you start with the JFK assassination, clearly a CIA op. If you move forward to RFK and Martin Luther King, CIA, you move another 4 years or 6 years after that, you've got Nixon, who was by far the most popular by the numbers that we've been able to validate, at least to some extent. He was the most popular president of all time. And it turns out that Bob Woodward, who was ex-Navy intelligence, who was plucked out and all of a sudden was put in place as a journalist, was the one who uncovered this stuff. CIA again. The whole bullshit with Gerald Ford. Well, let me finish. Because you're eating and you're not making any sense anyway. But let me continue. There is a timeline of consistent data points that demonstrate that it's really the intelligence industrial complex that's been running shit for decades. Here's another little data point. Did you know that Camel Toe sat on the intelligence committee?
No.
So she was on the intelligence committee. The people that are on the they're basically the overseers, supposedly, of the intelligence bodies, CIA, FBI, and all of that. Well, if you go back and you look at history, fucking Gerald Ford sat on the Warren Commission. Nixon was also parroting the same shit that JFK was, which was, we got to cut the CIA into pieces. These guys are way out of control. Okay. Now you get up to
give him the old Mama Bell.
You get into Bush Senior and Junior, all kinds of CIA going on there. Then you get to old Bumble. Where the hell did this guy come from? Well, he was kind of handpicked because the people that are actually running the government, because this is one of the other questions, in my opinion, that came strikingly loud out of this debate. Who's running the country? Sure as hell isn't Sloppy Joe. It sure as hell isn't camel toe. I mean, there's somebody
Hey,
else.
hey, you do not disparage that sandwich.
Okay, well, that's a different conversation. But basically, you have a consistent theme of data points that shows that it's clear that the intelligence agencies are the ones running the country, not the politicians. The politicians are picked and placed. They are puppeted for the show of the peeps so that they have this illusion that there are people supposedly elected and placed to protect the peeps. But in reality, it's all the intelligence agencies. And they have gotten more money every time. You can't get any answers out of them. Look what Garland, I mean, what a joke that son of a bitch is. I mean, and then the House just recently drafted the articles to hold him in contempt, which I think they may be successful at.
I would agree with a lot of
I
your
hope
statements, but not all of it.
Yeah, go ahead.
And where I would refute some of it is, I would say that the CIA is not the boogeyman that it used to be.
Mm-hmm. And why do you say that?
Because I do a lot of volunteer work,
mm-hmm.
and I have a lot of friends in alphabet soup.
Yeah.
Okay? And what I'm going to say is most and majority of the agencies are down to 12% staffing right now. Right? They're not doing well. Right? Majority of what you're allocating to the CIA being the big boogeyman, yes, that was definitely a thing in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s, right? I would say since about 2010, it's all NGOs, right? Non-government organizations now, right?
Contractors,
things get pushed out to NGOs. The alphabet soup's left in the dark on almost all of it. Okay. What I will say is that there is key players at the top that are
the bureaucrats
doing, they're doing a lot of puppet stringing,
the lifers,
because they're political appointees, right?
Right.
Now you asked who's running the government, who's doing things like that. I'll tell you, it's two companies, BlackRock and Vanguard. There you go.
And
everything, and that's on a global scale. That's not just here in the U.S. That's on an absolute global scale. There was a bit of investigation that I had to volunteer some time on last year when we were looking into a company called Blackstone. Okay. Now, FBI was looking into Blackstone because they had purchased up like 78% of residential homes throughout North America. Right. And it was causing a big concern. And they were like, hey, what's going on here? Blackstone put this giant fuck you on their website, which was, you will own nothing and you will be happy, which was a direct quote coming out from the World Economic Forum. And they were basically
the mother weffers.
Nobody's going to end up owning any homes. Everybody's going to rent. You're going to not be able to have guns in your homes because that's going to be part of a renter policy, shit like that, right? They were just going to force things down everybody's throat. Well, it turns out that Blackstone is a subsidiary of BlackRock. So then we started digging into BlackRock. Well, sure as shit, when you start digging into the finances of literally every single politician, every single one, doesn't matter if it's D, an R, an I, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what letters right in front of their name. They all answer to BlackRock. Every single one of their fucking financial advisors is BlackRock. Doesn't matter which side of the house you play on. Two wings of the same bird.
Right? Do you think that Newland and Blinken are a part of that little cabal?
I think almost everybody is. I would guarantee you about 80% of the Republican Party is, and about 100% of the Democratic Party is.
It seems to me that Newland in particular is the one that's been pushing all the bullshit going on in the Ukraine. She went over there and instigated the coup in 2014, which is apparently there's another coup afoot going on right now, or attempts of it, to get rid of this comedic idiot who was appointed into the position of president. But I agree with what you're saying. I think that a lot of the money,
who was appointed,
the funding, Zelensky was appointed. He was put in place by Newland.
They had an election.
No, they didn't. That's just like saying we had an election. We did not have an election. We had a sham show of ballot bullshit coupled with a bunch of manipulated code in machines. And did you notice how, all these other countries, and particularly what's going on in the EU right now, where the left's getting their ass handed to them in just about every country, none of them are using machines. They're all using paper ballots, and they're able to count it in 24 hours. What is the argument for machines? They're supposed to be faster, safer,
supposed to be more efficient,
all that.
Those
None
hanging
of that's
chads.
true. None of
No,
that is
we,
true.
we can't have our chads hanging.
Well, that's dangling chads is the
yeah,
old Pete punch things, but
No, you're thinking of participles, dangling participles. Chads.
That's what happens
Hanging.
when I talk. I have dangling
Hanging chads. Hanging, not dangling chads.
The hanging preposition and a dangling participle, right?
But basically what we're seeing is again, it's part of the great reveal. We're seeing that all of the shit that everybody's been told for the last 20 years easily, and you can go back 70 if you want to keep going on it, but it's all been bullshit. We've all been told one thing, and it's completely different in reality. The actual facts on the ground and behind the scenes are completely different than what we're told is happening out in our face.
I actually agree with you, Professor, and here's why. A handful of months ago, I was sitting in this Zoom meeting, and there was a couple of Congress members that were in there, and we were discussing about election integrity, right? And how can we increase the trust in the American public about integrity in elections, right? And I brought up, was it Elizabeth Warren? No, fuck, what the hell was her name? She's from Minnesota too. I can't even remember her name right now.
Whitmer?
No, fucking A. Anyway, one of the senators from fucking Minnesota, Amy Klobuchar. That's who it was. She was running for president in, 2016, during that big, like they had like 18 of them on there.
Yep.
And so we were sitting in this meeting, and I said, I wonder if it's still on her campaign website. And I pulled it up, and sure as shit, it was there. And we did a little screen share, and we did a little follow the bouncing ball thing, right? And she had a letter posted right on her campaign website where it talked about how she was sat on the Intelligence Oversight Committee that you talked about.
Yep.
And how one of their massive concerns, and they had like 20 some odd other congressmen and senators sign this letter saying that they need to remove the Dominion voting machines from the 2016 election, or the 2020 election. And the reason that they said that is because they found that sitting on the Intelligence Oversight Committee, that Dominion was used to manipulate votes. It was used in 2016, and it was used in Venezuela to elect Maduro. Well, where that case study comes from is because here's your favorite boogeyman, CIA, developed a software called Scorecard. Scorecard, essentially what it did is every single person that registered to vote but didn't show up to vote, it voted for them. So if you ran any type of audit on anything, it still showed that all these people that registered to vote showed up and voted, right? But they never showed up to vote, right?
That's disconcerting.
It made it very difficult to do any type of audit on it, and they could just choose who they wanted. Well, what Klobuchar says is that in this letter too, and still on her campaign site, that in 2016 they ran Dominion in 3 states, in only 3 states. And in those 3 states, at the last minute, Clinton pulled ahead. And she said it is absolutely paramount that we remove these machines from the 2020 election, because she is terrified that Trump is going to abuse his power as president and put them in all these states. Well, in 2020, they did use them in 38 states, but it didn't dump them in for Biden, or excuse me, for Trump.
and see, this is the other thing that, and I appreciate that, Travis, am I a friend of you on Facebook?
I'm not sure.
Well, I'd like to connect with you and have some other conversations as well. The idea that anything that we do in government across the board has any kind of accountability or transparency is a fantasy. When it comes to the election process and system, there's no way to audit it. You can't. It's designed so that you can't audit it. So all of these yo-yos that were going around, well, they've never, proved, there was no proof of any fraud or any misconduct in the 2020 election. Well, yeah, because first of all, you had to go look. Second, if you go look, you just can't find it because it is buried under this labyrinth of complexity and bullshit that has no chain of custody. The trail is not auditable, and you end up with something where you go, well, I kind of think maybe sort of, but we're not sure about this, that, and something else. Right now in Georgia, there is a whole big, and this is the kind of thing, again, the media is not going to tell you the news and the real data that's going on wherever it might be. But you can go look it up in the Georgia court and look at the lawsuits that are going on. There is a warehouse that apparently has 300,000 votes that are stored in there that has been locked. And a Georgia judge finally said about a year ago, go unlock it, go find out what's in there, right? It's never been done. The lock is still on it. Nobody's ever been able to go do any forensic analysis of it. It's like, well, why not? If it's bullshit, go open it up and prove it's bullshit.
Open it up and prove it.
If it's real, well, then we got other questions.
In law enforcement, we used to have a saying: if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a fucking duck, right?
Right.
And like it doesn't mean it's a fucking duck, but it's probably a fucking duck, right?
Yeah.
Now, so Christmas
correlation doesn't always equal causation, but
right. But yeah, if it smells like shit, it might be a pile of shit, right? You know,
right? Yeah, it's a good base to start from.
Yeah.
There's always a lot of correlation in the causation, regardless whether you don't think it happens or not.
Do you guys have any?
No, I don't disagree. I'm just saying
major news events that happened on Christmas morning after the election.
Mm-hmm.
Say that again.
On Christmas morning,
after
the election, there was two big things that happened, and only one of them really got any coverage. The second one, like maybe some local newspapers had some coverage on it. That was about it.
Yeah.
So let's start with the lesser one. The lesser one was in Rochester, New York, and it was around 9-10 o'clock in the morning, Christmas morning, and the City Blue printing press burned down to the ground. And fire department was on scene the entire time. Didn't put out the fire at all. They just kept it from catching other nearby buildings on fire, and that was it. And they just let the whole thing go down. Right? It was closed down. Freak accident. Freak fire. It was Christmas. Nobody was there. Also happened to be the printing press that printed off all of the ballots that were in question. Weird. Oh. Now, also simultaneously that morning, there was massive news coverage of Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
There was a certain event happening outside of the AT&T building.
Yep.
And there was this, brand new $300,000 Winnebago sitting outside of the AT&T center that had a state-of-the-art sound system and a feminine voice running through a computer system through these loudspeakers, warning everybody for 28 blocks to evacuate the area because a bomb was about to detonate. Mm-hmm. Well, a terrorist isn't going to tell you to go evacuate the area because you want as much casualties and damage as possible to get your point across, right? That's something that I've learned from working years in counterterrorism. Yeah. Now, what was very interesting about this is CNN and MSNBC was really quick to get their suspect up on the screen. That suspect was an 80-year-old white man wearing a MAGA hat, right? And then they showed a picture of his property, which was a really small, like 1,300 square foot home with a tree growing through the fucking roof, right? Like it was like dilapidated as shit. Mm-hmm. Somehow this guy with like 12-foot grass and a tree growing through his roof afforded a nearly $500,000 Winnebago with this state-of-the-art sound system in it, warning everybody that a bomb was about to blow.
Well, clearly he spent all his money on the Winnebago and the sound system.
Right. Yeah, and apparently was an EOD tech because that thing had shape charges that were directed to only hit the sub-basement level of the AT&T building. And it was strange that the FBI just happened to be on scene within 5 minutes of this thing happening, right? Going around for 28 blocks, confiscating everybody's Ring cameras, everybody's surveillance systems, everybody's closed circuit systems and CCTV cameras. It was very strange that all that just got fucking, collected right before this thing fucking blew up. Well, rumor has it, a little birdie told me, that the sub-basement level of the AT&T building also happened to be the servers for the NSA. And the rumor was that Trump had all the data from the stolen election and it was being housed on those servers. Weird.
Right. Now, go ahead.
I'm just
Please
saying.
Tell me that another little birdie told you that, somebody with 400 terabyte hard drives backed everything up from the NSA servers.
Apparently that was what was getting Mike Lindell's panties in a fucking bunch. because as he was hearing about all this, he was running his fucking mouth about it, and then all of a sudden the FBI came a knocking.
Right.
And so like there's a lot of things that I'm sure a lot of people are being threatened with about 50 years of prison, right? To keep their fucking mouth shut. That's the price we pay for living in this this Coliseum there.
Well, to tie off the Georgia story that I was talking about, so there's 300,000 ballots. They've been in this warehouse under lock and key.
Yeah.
Judge a year ago finally says, okay, go open it up and find out. Nobody has done anything. It has not been approached, apparently.
Right.
This 2 weeks ago, I think it was the Georgia, it wasn't the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, because, you know, every state's got its own Bureau of Investigation outside of the FBI, right?
Correct.
I think it was them, but somebody has now put forth a petition to just go in and destroy it without looking at it, without doing anything. It's like, we just need to get rid of that shit. And it's like, if you guys are going to try to put that through the documented, supposedly legal system, where you have to put in these, you know,
chain of custody,
whatever it is, all of that shit. And now you're going to say, well, it's been a suspicious thing for what now, 4 years? And we've known about these ballots. They've known about the warehouse, and a Georgia judge said, go open it up, go find out. And nobody's done anything about it. Now, since nobody's done anything, you want to go in and destroy it. There's some serious fuckery afoot on all levels of any type of government stuff. I've gotten to the point where, you know, we have this concept that you're innocent until proven guilty. It's essentially in the Constitution. It's the way our judicial system is supposedly supposed to function.
Supposed to, yeah.
I now look at anything that has to do with government is guilty until proven innocent. So it doesn't matter what comes out of their mouths, what the data is. They just found out yesterday in California, they found out that all of the unemployment numbers are complete bullshit. And it's been proven publicly that it's all bullshit. You're finding that I got into some back and forth with some of these brain-stained libs that think that, oh, the government said this, the economy's like that, inflation's here. What are you whining and bitching about it? And I said, do you honestly tell me that you believe anything that they tell you? Where's the credibility? If nothing else, over the last 5 years, since the spam-demic bullshit of the C-19 hoax has been a complete demonstration of anybody in authority that's supposed to have credibility has completely lost any credibility that they may.
Whatever happened to Rage Against the Machine?
Right, exactly.
I'm sorry, I don't listen to bands that wear Che Guevara t-shirts.
Yeah. Well, I've been pretty quiet just listening to you guys, but it has all been suppressed by social media. And who's in control of that? Because I was listening to everything you guys are saying, and I'm thinking, I'm wondering if I will get my next strike tonight or tomorrow from YouTube.
Well, you know, interesting
information.
Interesting that you bring up social media, Scotty, because I'm gonna attack that one platform that I love to attack, TikTok.
Which one?
Have you done any looking into the connection between human trafficking and TikTok and the cartels?
Just surface level type of stuff, just to try to find out if there's anything
start digging into that. There's an interview that Sean Ryan does with the sheriff of Pinal County. Where he talks about all of that stuff that, you know, he's been seeing it, he's been dealing. It's all over the place about how basically the cartels are utilizing TikTok to basically guide people in how to get into the country, how to do things, how to get past stuff, how to work processes. And you look at the amount of money that is involved with human trafficking. And then you look at the
the amount of money and the amount of influence that is there related to China and what they do with all of the fentanyl precursors and all of that. Is it any wonder that when they were trying to do the TikTok ban, if you will, that the CEO of TikTok was making regular videos saying, hey, this is a load of garbage and don't let them shut us down and all of that. And then look at who the parent company of TikTok is with ByteDance and who owns ByteDance. And you start seeing some interesting stuff. I'm just saying, if you want to fight the good fight, unload TikTok.
Well, it's a lot. It's much more nuanced and has other layers in it than that.
Oh yeah,
Jason. Because
right, I'm just giving the cliff
and all
notes.
those guys. The amount of money coming out of those guys into the politicians, is just ginormous, and particularly on the right as well as the left. But I'm going to take a little bit of a different tack, Scotty, on the social media thing.
Okay,
when Elon dropped all of those Twitter then files. And showed how much was being paid to them and the infiltration by the alphabet soup agencies prior to, and this is another point I like making, is that isn't it interesting how fact checkers didn't start showing up until the truth came out?
The Ministry of Truth.
Okay. And when
more
people
like
started talking
silly
truth,
walks.
and they started dropping data bombs and you couldn't dispute them unless you decided to just outright tar and feather them as being, oh, you're a conspiracy, oh, you're this or whatever else. It's like I'm doing a show called The Conspiratorium, and we're just going in and keeping track of which conspiracies have come true lately, because the majority of them have come true, and the ones that haven't come true yet are kind of peeking around the corner.
Look, here's what I'm going to say about that. Here's what I'm going to say about that, Prof. Look, the conspiracy theory things and stuff coming true is okay, but until we see it on The Simpsons, I'm not going to worry about it.
There it is.
JP, earlier you were making comments about the CCP involvement up in the Dakotas, I believe you said. In encroaching things. Okay.
Yep.
Now, I've been watching the CCP encroachment for a handful of years, probably about 5 or 6.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I've been tracking a lot of that. Actually, I think it was either last week or 2 weeks ago on the ACTJ. I brought up one of the red flags that I had seen back in 2021.
Yeah.
And according to some reports, he's a retired general, and other reports he's a captain.
Yeah.
Named Sun Young Zin.
Is this the one that tried to buy all the land down in Texas?
In Texas, correct.
For the windmill farm?
Not only did he try to, he did buy the land. And 130,000 acres right next to Laughlin Air Force Base.
Yep. Now, the good thing about it being next to Laughlin is the fact that Laughlin's a nothing burger. Laughlin is basically like in the Army, we had TRADOC, Training and Doctrine Command. It's where you did all your training. Laughlin is all like pilot training and
which we have a massive suffrage of right now too.
We absolutely do have a big shortage of pilots. I mean, if you look at some of the bonuses that they're offering Air Force pilots to stay in another 10 years, good friggin' night.
Now, what's interesting is when I started looking into this story, I found the name of his little headquarters ranch was called Morning Star Ranch.
Yeah.
Right?
What Star Ranch?
Morning Star.
Okay.
As in like Lucifer, right? Or the Morning Star, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, so when I saw that, I was like, okay, that's interesting. And I remember I was discussing with another guy, and we're like, hey, have you heard about this? Let's look into this. And we went into Google Earth and just typed in Morning Star Ranch.
Yeah.
And I didn't put in Texas, just put in Morning Star Ranch, hit search, and you wouldn't believe what populated. There is almost a perfect bisection through the United States.
Yeah.
Of Morning Star ranches. And guess who they're owned by?
That guy.
The CCP.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
It all goes back to the CCP.
Oh yeah.
And each one of these Morningstar ranches are petting zoos and so on and so forth. And it's weird because it goes all the way across I-70 east and west, and all the way across I-35 north and south. And so you got them as far as into Minnesota and the Dakotas, going all the way down to Texas. And you got them going all the way from California out to the East Coast. And you were talking about sex trafficking earlier. I would guarantee you're going to have a lot of that associated with these ranches.
Probably.
And that's moving a lot of human trafficking.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if that were the case. I mean, I'm not going to say that is the case, but if that came out, I wouldn't be surprised. But and that's the thing is people don't stop to think about things. And especially, you know, when it comes to money and you're the individual who's selling something or whatever. So in my instance, and you may start going to do some digging on this. And I'll tell you right here now, if you really want to get into the weeds of it, don't read the newspaper clippings. Like you can watch some stuff on, oh God, what's that channel that's kind of like Fox News, but it's not.
I got a way more important question real quick, JP. What was your MOS?
My MOS? I was a 919 Alpha engineer equipment repair tech warrant officer. I was a maintenance warrant.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we could be friends. So I was 11 Bravo. So
okay, all right. Hey, nothing but love for you guys. But just remember that, you know, bullets don't fly without supply and logistics.
That's right, Pogue.
So as much as you love being a major league door kicker, you wouldn't be able to do it without the rest of us. So you can watch some of the stuff on Newsmax with what's her name on there, because she actually did come out and interview a bunch of people. But if you want to do some real deep dive research, go onto YouTube and look up the city of Grand Forks's page on YouTube, and go through their city council meetings and committee of the whole meetings from 2000. I want to say really this all starts in 2020. But so you could probably go from like September of 2020 up through February of 2023 and watch how everything unfolds. And you'll actually see me speak a number of times starting, I think, in mid to late 2021.
I knew there was a self-promotion in here somewhere.
Had to have been.
I'm just saying that so you know he verifies that he's getting into the right stuff. I have a beard.
Look. JP is like if you ordered Bruce Campbell off of Wish or Temu.
I love it.
And you know he's got to self-promote.
Right? Yeah. No, exactly. But
if you don't, who else is going to do it?
Right?
That's
exactly. Right. Exactly. You know, but people don't look at things, and especially when it comes to money, they don't deep dive, you know, when it's something they're on the receiving end of. But like there are red flags all over something, all over some things if you just look at it. And like if you go and you look at, I remember when we were going through this whole process, and I found out how much they paid per acre for the 370 acres there outside the base. If you go to the USDA and you look up the average cost of some of like the top tier farmland in North Dakota, right? What the average going price is per acre, you're looking somewhere in the ballpark of like $2,500 to $3,500 an acre. All right. And then if you go and you look at commercial or industrial zoned land in North Dakota, on average, it works out to roughly $16,500 to $17,500 per acre, right? So these guys rolled into Grand Forks. Oh yeah, by the way, announcing that they had selected Grand Forks as the location for their wet corn mill, something like 30 to 60 days after the Space Development Agency announced that they were setting up their a control site at Grand Forks Air Force Base for the low Earth orbit satellite system. And interesting. What a coinky-dink, right? But so these guys paid these two owners, I think it was like brothers or something like that, $26,600 and something odd dollars per acre for 370 acres, 12 miles
from Grand Forks Air Force Base, which, oh yeah, by the way, is the premier, it's the only Global Hawk, RQ-4 Global Hawk base in the U.S. Air Force in the United States. Now, most of the stuff they fly in terms of the birds leaving the base there is training, but everything that goes on, all of the missions that are flown overseas by aircraft that we have positioned in locations, it's the 348th Reconnaissance Squadron flying all of it from their MCEs on base. And so it's trailers with computers and stuff in it, for those who aren't familiar. But they were going to put in a 300-foot cooling tower, which would give you direct line of sight over all of the shelter belts, because it's nothing but farmland all the way out Highway 2 to the base from the city. And North Dakota being as flatter than flat can be, it would give them direct line of sight to the airfield to be able to even just watching habits. And you'll know this from having dealt with the various things you've had your fingers in. What'd you put in there? Combat Rev.
Look, I'm a fucking priest now, okay?
Right?
So
I got
do a lot of killing, and now I do a lot of saving. All right.
Right there, you go. But it's when you're establishing patterns of life, right? It's very easy to pick up that kind of information. Like, none of these people on the city council understood any of this stuff. Nobody saw it as a red flag. The city council, was actively working to get it all zoned industrial and commercial before everything was closed out. And if you look up Project Peony, that's what they initially rolled in under, was the cover name. In North Dakota, you're not required to list who the purchasing party is, in big land purchases and things like that. So there was no need, there was no legal precedence to supply that, hey, it's Fufeng USA, which is a subsidiary of Fufeng, was it Fufeng Corporation or Fufeng Corp? That's or Fufeng Group, excuse me. And they're out of Shandong province. The CEO who
right next to ping pong.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The guy who owns it and was like the CEO was basically the equivalent of, was the CCP equivalent of a United States senator. So it's not like he was a low-level party member, because like all the big companies, everybody has to join the party, right? But like all of these red flags, everything was hidden under Project Peony. They had a big it was October 14th of 2020. They had a big thing where they brought in all the big business leaders and money having folks and stuff like that within the city of Grand Forks, and had a big meeting about it at the Alaris Center with breakfast and big things given on giant screens and all this stuff. And you start looking down through the guest list, and you start seeing things where it's like, local Chinese leaders, and then, oh, hey, here's this person. And you look at Fufeng USA and they're saying like, oh, well, we're an American company. We're based out of Chicago. But they had ties to things that were going on, I think, in the Caymans or something like that. So
you're basically saying, Jason, that the CCP infiltration of the U.S. on multiple levels, from land to institutions to technology to you name it, they have got their grubby little communist.
Well, look at when you talk about education, look at the Confucianism centers.
Well, that's a whole nother thing,
right?
If you look at, and I've been to China,
mm-hmm.
and I am a follower of Taoism. I'm a Taoist, and I teach Tai Chi.
Yeah, but that's different than the Chinese Communist Party.
Well, that's what I'm trying. That's a point I'm trying to make. You let me finish my point,
sir.
Jesus,
I
Jason,
know
just
China.
zip it a second.
No Chinaman.
So,
Jesus.
so my point
God, he just said that.
is that the communist Chinese, and it's this, I'm going to tie this back to the point I was making earlier about our intelligence agencies just basically screwing with all of the top level politics and positions in our country for decades.
Yeah.
Nixon went over there and kicked off what we now see as China, number one.
Well, right. Yeah, absolutely.
And he did it with the idea of expanding, not necessarily, giving them the ability to join the global community. We also did this after we bombed the shit out of Germany, after we pummeled Japan. Japan and Germany became superpowers on their own because the people had the intellect and the drive and the initiative and innovation that those countries ended up building themselves off of.
Right.
China is very different because the takeover of the communist ideology with Mao and his little merry band of crooked folks.
Yeah.
The Chinese history going back, just for a quick lesson, China was very isolationist, very much like Russia. Okay.
Yeah.
Very isolationist.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as all of this global shit started going down and people are going, well, I can sell from them and buy from them and I can get some of this and have some of that and they can have some of ours. That exploded into this global mess that we have now by us, the United States, sharing our shit. Because we are, and this I'd like to hear
there's some
hold on, Jason, hold on. You're going to go
more
down a rabbit
convoluted
hole.
than that.
No, I'll fix your convolution in a minute. If you go back and you look through any of the prophetic, and Scotty, this ties back to your biblical studies that you and I both spent a great deal of too much time in.
Right.
If you look at all of the prophetic type incidents or people and things, any types of the divination tools that have been used, from numerology to scrying to oracles to the I Ching, astrology, divination of any type, the one thing that you'll find is that none of them saw the United States of America coming into being. There was never any prophetic that's been cleared up, including Nostradamus. There was nothing that ever said there's going to be this great power that's going to arise.
And that is an interesting point when you look at eschatology and all the ancient prophecies.
And my point there is that
the
America,
the United States is never mentioned in any way, shape, or form. So
the only one that had,
or the
the only one that got close was Francis Bacon with the New Atlantis. Okay, when you look at it, but my point is that America is in this constitutional republic that has become who we are is an anomaly in history.
Yeah.
And therefore, that anomaly is something that people have came out of kind of nowhere. It was a revolt against authoritarianism and monarchy and crap, which none of us want. And it grew into this monolith that basically changed the entire global history as it had gone up to that point. For thousands of years. I mean, even the Egyptians, the Sumerians, the Akkadians, none of them had anything like or resulted in anything like what America is. So my point of bringing that up is this. The shit we're going through now, nobody knows. There is a shitload of speculation afoot. There's a bunch of weekend and armchair quarterbacking going on, and conspiracy analysts, which is what I consider myself to be. I'm not a theorist. I analyze the theories. And I got to tell you, some of the shit that these people have been barking up trees about for decades seems to be more true now than ever.
Yep.
Than what we're about to see with this election. I really, in my own psychic and divination ways, I basically am a trends analysis kind of guy. I'm a statistician. I like looking at data and looking at where is it directionally going, and trying to hone what I think and what I say based on that analysis.
Yeah.
Because I'll sure as hell tell you, you can't trust anything anybody's telling you. So you got to come up with your own shit to try to navigate the nonsense.
Later, Roger.
See you, Roger. But I think what we're about to see is the collapse of the curated narrative of crap that is the bullshit history. Our science is bullshit. Our academic systems are bullshit. The entertainment and news media empires and legacy stuff is bullshit. The administration of governments is bullshit. What we are told across the board is so filled with bullshit that to see anything of any rational accuracy coming out of it is next to impossible. The only thing we can do is just look at the data and kind of go, well, that one looks kind of interesting. And now there's some common sense and some just, does it pass the sniff test? Is it too on the nose? Does it pass the really test? Because you have to use that level of common sense and acuity in your own mind with your own speculation to sort through this shit. And I do think that while the shit is deep, it's way past boot level. You shovels are useless. You've got to basically get yourself a backhoe to get out of it. And there's dumpster fires everywhere.
Wait.
And
so a backhoe is all that's
I'm thinking
necessary?
that
We don't have to get a D9?
We can hit this tomorrow night because it's midnight here, and I'm getting the high sign from the owner of the network.
You mean she came in and flashed you?
Yeah.
Maybe I had so much more to say.
Tomorrow night. Can you be here tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, I got the American Council for Truth and Journalism. So unfortunately, I may be already taken.
Travis, do you have a channel on somewhere? How would I find it with you?
Facebook, X, and Rumble, and OpsLens. It is the American Council for Truth and Journalism. It's about 7 or 8 of us. We all just take it from every angle and argue the piss out of everything, but show that you can still be friends at the end of it.
That's
it's
so lovely.
Yeah,
I like that model.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, our last episode that we did, we were fucking shocked because when we first started, we had like 48 viewers, like 8 years ago, right? And it was just fucking off. But our last episode last Thursday had 12.6 thousand live viewers for the whole hour.
I know it's
last Thursday.
That's awesome. Well, I would like to I'd like to connect with you on somewhere out there. And so if you see me pop up somewhere as a friend request or whatever, it's me.
Hit me on the Book of Faces.
Yeah. I'll get you on the Book of Faces and the face crap, because there is so much more intelligent.
He's gonna kill us.
There's so much more intelligent talk that
Look
I
at
think
Scotty's
needs
face.
to be
Uh-huh.
had
Later,
on
you
these
shut up.
lines. And
I got things to do.
unfortunately, when you have Jason on, it's like, okay, let me try to get it. That filibuster thing that JP does, he's got that down.
I know he's so
If
bad.
anybody filibusters around here, it's you.
So let's do this. Scotty, why don't you walk us out and then you can end the live and we can all stay in the back room and continue to talk while
there you go. I wish I could do that. I don't know if I can do that here.
All you need to do is just stop the live and stay in the studio.
Oh, there is that. Yeah.
That's right.
There is that.
And you can leave and it'll still keep going.
And you can
Just mute your microphone.
You just turn it off and leave.
Yeah, we just exit the studio and it finally goes.
All right. I guess that would stay on. Well, I think it would stay on for quite a while.
Well, we won't stay on that.
We'll give it a shot here.
All right.
Here's what
Let's
I'm
see
going to
if
do.
this
I'm going to
works.
put you all on hold. Don't go anywhere, you guys. Here we go.
Yeah.
And we'll give it a shot. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here tonight. As you can see, we went into a third hour tonight and a completely full third hour, and I can go no more tonight. And so, for various reasons. And so, I want to thank you for being here. Thanks for being here for the first part of the show and all the conversation afterward. There is sure to be more on this coming very soon. So, for now, just want to say goodnight and live long and prosper.